This is the moment we've all been waiting for the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble!
All your feelings hurt when it get real. All of them fakes, so they ain't ready, no. It be too hard, we getting lit, cause we speaking on. Fuck all the clowns, yeah, the ones who do it for the bite. All we going on, your feelings hurt when it get real. All of them fakes, so they ain't ready, no. It be too hard, we getting lit, cause we speaking on. Fuck all the clowns, yeah, the ones who do it for the bite. All we going on.
Fuck your feelings. Big chest back in the building. Like Brady boy, I stay winning. Chef Curry, range extended. Splash. Fuck your feelings. Debate all day, that's business. Either your ass, that's fitness. FYF, got a hit list. Bitch, I'm the realest. Alpha male strong, that's illest. FYF gang, we will win this. Fuck the permission slip bitches. Ayy, yo. Fuck your feelings. FYF gang, be the realest.
All your feelings hurt when it get real. All of them fakes, so they ain't ready, no. It be too hard, we getting lit, cause we speaking on. Fuck all the clowns, yeah, the ones who do it for the bites. All we going on. All your feelings hurt when it get real. All of them fakes, so they ain't ready, no. It be too hard, we getting lit, cause we speaking on. Fuck all the clowns, yeah, the ones who do it for the bites. All we going on.
The paper chase, hurdles and relays, like a track meet. Drug fiends, bitches, foreign whips. Now that's my back street, stay humble. Be most hated is the consequence of success. Fast money always slows up. You gotta learn to invest. My flow, mastered. Money, I stacked it. Enemies, caskets. To women, I'm attracted. To my haters, outlast them. Passports stamped it. Can funded work on consignment. Come on, now that's a backflip. Principles you stand on. Wasted talent, sad song. Beach house 1.5, but the car dad said 260. God, obedience, Jesus, repentance. The marathon continues, and I'm strong to the finish.
All your feelings hurt when it get real. All of them fakes, so they ain't ready, no. It be too hard, we getting lit, cause we speaking on. Fuck all the clowns, yeah, the ones who do it for the bite. All we going on. All your feelings hurt when it get real. All of them fakes, so they ain't ready, no. It be too hard, we getting lit, cause we speaking on. Fuck all the clowns, yeah, the ones who do it for the bite. All we going on.
FYF, okay. No one measure, remember them 3 letters come with pressure. Okay. We be steppers, man, can't stop, won't let up. Real debates, the haters gon' hate. That's what makes it special, it come with level. Yeah, this shit get better, no cap, new era. We got ammunition for the opposition and plenty witness, killing competition. Catch us late night on a panel cooking, but don't be fooled, this ain't your mama's kitchen. They say they don't, but they watch and listen, typing in the chat. You ain't got a lot to kick it. If you click the link, make sure you got permission, and don't forget, nigga, fuck your feelings.
All your feelings hurt when it get real. All of them fakes, so they ain't ready, no. It be too hard, we getting lit, cause we speaking on. Fuck all the clowns, yeah, the ones who do it for the bite. All we going on. All your feelings hurt when it get real. All of them fakes, so they ain't ready, no. It be too hard, we getting lit, cause we speaking on. Fuck all the clowns, yeah, the ones who do it for the bite. All we going on.
I know they ain't ready at all. I stay ready, time to ball. No referee, I got shots to call. Believe I'm the best, so I'm better than y'all. Fuck your feelings, you know that's law. Running it up, now we running it back. It's that full court pressure, don't cut no slack. Jamming to the max. Bank count still full of racks. For the competition, they done went missing. The champ is here, look how the ring glisten. It's honorable mention, don't ever forget it. It's FYF, don't care about the ticket. You know we with it, yeah. We gon' do whatever it takes. Fuck all the hate. FYF still going down. It's one of the greats.
All your feelings hurt when it get real. All of them fakes, so they ain't ready, no. It be too hard, we getting lit, cause we speaking on. Fuck all the clowns, yeah, the ones who do it for the bite. All we going on. All your feelings hurt when it it get real, all of them fakes, so they ain't ready, no. It be too hard, we get it lit, cause we speaking now. Fuck all the clowns, yeah, all the ones that do it for the bites. Oh, we going now, supporters, no fans. LVCM, they talking on real. Yeah, get hot, could be on the real. Heart rate up, it's getting intense. All them people just speaking on nothing. Content clicks for the money. Hilarious, the pic too funny. Debunking this shit, yeah, we run it. Cover it up, Lakers to Hornets. LeBron to Jordan, Blazers in Portland. We get it sorted, lights can afford it. Entertaining or boring, whatever the top, but we act accordingly. Break it down, piece by piece. Been at this for too long. No elder but Rufus, saying what he on. Lace better stay gone. We get them all done. We get them all done. Yeah, we get them all done. All your feelings hurt when it get real. All of them fakes, so they ain't ready, no. It be too hard, we get it lit, cause we speaking now. Fuck all the clowns, yeah, all the ones that do it for the bite. All we going now, your feelings hurt when it get real, all of them fakes, so they ain't ready, no. It be too hard, we get it lit, cause we speaking now. Fuck all the clowns, yeah, all the ones that do it for the bite. All we going now,
FYF Sports, man. It's Lamont, y'all. We back. Look, we got a live open panel discussion today. We got to talk about something that I don't think a lot of people are talking about. Right? Salute to everybody that's pulled up. I mean, we got almost 100 people here in the chat. I see you guys watching on Twitch and Facebook as well. So, again, I appreciate everybody that's pulled up so far. But, hey, y'all, a story dropped today. And the only thing that I saw a lot of people running with a narrative. I saw a lot of people running with a narrative, and nobody even sat back and asked themselves, where did this come from? How did this information get leaked out? What side in this particular negotiation benefits by this information getting leaked out? And the one thing I smelled when I saw this pop up on my feed, I just smelled desperation, y'all. And now the questions left to ask is, I think the only question left to ask is, where does the desperation stem from? What side do you guys believe where this desperation is leaking out of? What's the more desperate side? When you look at all of the parties involved, right? When you look at this Kyrie Irving situation, when you look at the Brooklyn Nets situation, when you look at the Lakers situation, right? Right? I think it's easy to say that the Lakers are desperate. Obviously, the Knicks fell apart last year. That same strategy of just bringing all defense, no offense didn't work. Obviously, they're desperate to a certain degree. Brooklyn Nets, they still have KD. They lost James Harden. You still have Ben Simmons. Not necessarily desperate. Could face a potential loss in Kyrie walking in free agency if he chooses to do so. This is desperation by Kyrie, none other than Kyrie Irving. This story, whether people want to believe it or not, was leaked by Kyrie Irving's camp. And it was a desperate move for him to potentially apply pressure to the Brooklyn Nets to maybe capitulate to his contract demands. The Brooklyn Nets have made it no secret that they don't want to sign him to a long-term deal. Over the last 2 years, he's proven to be a complete letdown and disappointment. Over the last 2 years, it's proven that they cannot trade him. He's not an extremely tradable asset, even though he's a highly talented player. And what they said, in return for what you've given us, we're willing to offer you a short-term deal, 1, maybe 2-year deal max. And this contract is going to be full of incentives that require you to be on the court to get your money. And see, this is something that people in the media, when you talk about Stephen A. Smith, there were a lot of people saying that this would ultimately come back to haunt him contractually. And this stems all the way back to the bubble. If we go back to 2020, wasn't it Kyrie Irving telling the players not to play? He wasn't looking at it from the side of ownership, where if the players didn't play, ownership would have definitely executed a clause to redo the CBA, and there would have been another lockout, and then players wouldn't be getting paid. But he's the one that recklessly told players to do that. If you guys think back to the bubble, he said, guys, we shouldn't be here playing. It's too dangerous. We need a vaccine to play. They get a vaccine. Now there's a vaccine mandate in New York. So he's now opposed to taking a vaccine because the vaccine that he wanted to push on the players in 2020 is the same vaccine he's not willing to take if it's mandated in his own city. So then he's left sitting out again. And this is not to mention in the season prior where he decided to take a leave of absence for God knows what reason, other than some selfish reasons of his own. And now it comes time to get paid. Now it comes time to sit down and negotiate with the people that you've abandoned multiple times, whether it's through injury, whether you voluntarily left, right? And a lot of people think, remember, he voluntarily didn't play in the bubble. Remember, that Brooklyn Nets team was in the bubble and they were ready. They were healthy. That's another time where he voluntarily chose not to play. And I believe he chose not to play in the bubble because KD wasn't ready to go. And he didn't want to go out there by himself. The next year, he voluntarily takes time off, compromises the team's integrity and consistency. They struggle. Then they're outed when Kyrie Irving rolls his ankle. Then this year, he doesn't start the year. The team is unbalanced. James Harden gets disgruntled. KD is also injured, and he never had no consistency. And now you're looking at a Brooklyn Net team that was swept in the first round of the playoffs, extremely embarrassed when you got a superstar in Kevin Durant. They had to trade James Harden because he was so disgruntled from the situation. And then you have Kyrie Irving, who was just Kyrie Irving. And it just wasn't good enough. And I think last year, especially the Celtics exposed a lot in this league. The Celtics and the Warriors combined, I think both of those teams have convinced the Brooklyn Nets that they can win without Kyrie Irving. That it could potentially be addition by subtraction, and they could take the cap space if he leaves, or if he chooses to leave, or forces his way out, or because if he doesn't want to agree to any particular contracts or offer. I believe that they're looking at each other like, we can go with the Golden State formula, or we can go with the Boston Celtic formula and win this with depth. All the superstars outside of Steph Curry were at home in the NBA Finals. The teams that were remaining, if you look at the Final Four teams that were remaining, were the teams with a lot of depth. Teams that were healthy, with length, size, who could defend. These are all things that the Brooklyn Nets didn't have. Even when Kyrie Irving's healthy, you still lack defense. You still lack size. You're going to lack depth because of the massive contract. There's a lot we got to talk about here, but I smell a lot of BS when this report came out, y'all. I smell BS. And as much as Kyrie Irving wants to come out on Twitter with some of these, cryptic tweets as if the things that are said in the media are not accurate, well, I'm with Kyrie on this one. I call BS, but I'm calling BS on Kyrie. Kyrie, this is something that I feel, and I 100% believe Kyrie Irving leaked. Brooklyn Nets get nothing out of leaking this. If they're forced to trade Kyrie Irving, they're going to get pennies on the dollar. They're not going to get equal value. The Lakers don't get nothing out of this because if they trade for Kyrie Irving, the only way they can get him is going to put him in a situation where they're hard capped, so they'll ultimately lose. And they still will be devoid of any depth. They won't have the money to do anything. Then the Clippers name got thrown in it. But then the Knicks got thrown in. Why are the Knicks thrown in it? Because we all know that Knicks will do anything to bring in a superstar just to sell tickets. Everybody knows that. The Knicks are about selling tickets and making money above winning, based on what I've seen. And if they don't have a team that can win the championship, they're not going to spend any money. They're not going to go into the luxury tax. They're going to find ways to be cheap. They're not going to bring in big name free agents. They don't want to be a middling of the pack team. We saw that this year. When they had a good year and they went to the playoffs and lost to the Atlanta Hawks, did they do anything to bolster that roster? They never believed in Julius Randle. They were never going to build around him. They're not going to build around him until he's gone. As a matter of fact, there are trade reports circulating with Julius Randle right now, potentially to get him out of there. The Knicks are looking for a superstar, and they're desperate for one. I think Kyrie selected the two most desperate teams he could find and threw those names out there in the report, the Lakers and the Knicks. Both of those teams are desperate to get their hands on Kyrie Irving. And the question will be is, are they desperate enough to give him the contract that he wants? And I believe yes. But this had to have gotten leaked from his side. It only benefits him because he's compromised his value to a certain degree where nobody trusts him. And salute to everybody in the chat. We're going to drop the link right here. We're about to drop this link. We're going to get all y'all here to cook on this topic. But I see so many people, all of a sudden we're dropping videos talking about trades and trade situations and how can we make it work? And it's all fake news. This is Kyrie Irving's attempt. We know he wants to be in Brooklyn. This is Kyrie Irving's attempt to get the Brooklyn Nets to capitulate to his demands. Look at all these teams that want Kyrie Irving. That's what the reporter suggested. We know the Lakers want him. Obviously, the Lakers want anybody they can get hands on. The Lakers have been tied to any player of significance. Bradley Beal, right? Zach LaVine, Kyrie Irving, any player of significance that's potentially in the market with a player option or free agent. The Lakers their name is getting thrown into the mix for that player. They're desperate for anyone other than Russell Westbrook. But is this going to work? This Kyrie Irving's desperation ploy, this desperate strategy to potentially get the Brooklyn Nets to sign him to a long-term deal, is it going to work is going to be the real question. Is he going to convince Brooklyn to sign him long-term and take the risk that we don't know what he's going to do? We don't know if we can count on him. Even if you load up his contract with incentives, you still don't know if he's going to be there because he's obviously shown he's willing to lose a ton of money for any particular cause that he has. But when you're in the business of winning basketball games, right? Salute to Kyrie Irving for standing up for what he believes is right. The unfortunate reality of what he's doing is he's also compromising his value as a basketball player. And he's compromised it so much so that now the Brooklyn Nets are about to really make him feel it in his pocketbook. We're going to drop the link, man. Let me get you guys in here to cook on this topic because I call it complete BS on Kyrie Irving. And my question to you guys would be, I see some people that are potential Knicks fans. If you're a Laker fan, whatnot, do you want Kyrie Irving on your team? When you look at what the Lakers have now in Russell Westbrook, would you much rather have Kyrie Irving right now than Russell Westbrook? Has everyone given up so much on Russell Westbrook right now that that's the trade you're willing to make? Do you guys honestly believe that Brooklyn would take a Russell Westbrook right now in exchange for a Kyrie Irving? I don't believe so. Not without some draft compensation. All right, we got a few people in the backstage. Y'all stay right there. I'm gonna bring y'all in. We got to talk about this, y'all, because something don't smell right about this Kyrie Irving situation. Something ain't right about it. We got Kool-Aid Johnson in the chat. We got Tap. Y'all got to tell me what's going on with this Kyrie Irving situation. What's true about it? All right, let me go ahead and let you guys in, man. We got a couple people in the backstage. I'm gonna let more people in as they come through. We got Goat Mike and we got Richard. Richard hopped out, man. We got Goat Mike. Is that the real Goat Mike or is that the fake Goat Mike?
Man, this the real goat, Mike, man. Start playing.
What's good, Goat Mike?
Shouldn't have much, man. How's it going, man?
Man, you know, it's been doing what we do. Just decided to go live today. Because I had to talk about this situation. I've been seeing and hearing too much cap on this Kyrie Irving situation. But what are your thoughts on it? What do you think? Do you think this is all cap? Do you think this is something that Kyrie Irving's team leaked out to potentially force or motivate the Brooklyn Nets into signing them to a long-term deal?
Yeah, I think it's a setup to try to get them to sign him to a long-term deal. I don't see Kyrie Irving going nowhere. I think he's trying to force the Brooklyn Nets' hand to give him a long deal, stay with Kevin Durant. He's not going nowhere. All he's trying to do is force their hand to get him paid because the Nets not trying to pay him. So how else can you force them to pay you? You know, do slick shit and hope it works. But I think it will work because Kevin Durant, he's going to talk to the owner as well, and I believe Kyrie will get the contract he wants. That's just me.
So you believe he gets signed? We got Johnny Ali. He just pulled up. What are your thoughts on this? Do you think this plan by Kyrie Irving is going to actually work? You think he's going to get what he wants out of this?
Nah, I don't think he's going to work. But you said something earlier that I disagree with. You said
What's
that?
that?
You said that in the bubble, Kyrie said he wanted to wait for a vaccine in 2020. That's not true. He never said that. He said what he said was he wanted to wait until more research was done on the virus before before taking any other action. That's why he didn't want the players to go and rush themselves into like playing into a dangerous environment.
And the only thing I can do when he says that is I can try to deduce what his meaning is. If you want them to do more research on it, at that point in time, the research have been already done on the coronavirus. They have been research. If Kyrie Irving's one who does a lot of research, so the things that I'm saying, I know he knew back in 2020, but Corona is not new. It's been researched for the last 20 years. The government was aware of it when Trump came into office. He shut down the program that was going to create a vaccine for it. That's the only reason why a vaccine didn't exist at that time. When he says more research, the only thing that we can deduce that he meant is that there was no vaccine ready to make players immune to it, to give more safety. Because he was alluding, when you listen to him talk around that time, he was alluding to player safety. And then obviously the social justice things, which they got nothing out of the social justice issues, and they got nothing in regards to player safety. It was a complete sham all around. And he never got anything truly done for the players. We got Mingo Jester right here. Mingo Jester, what are your thoughts on this?
Man, I heard what you just said, saying that coronavirus been around for a while. If coronavirus been around so long, why the hell they ain't already have a vaccine for it?
I just explained that.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, I did. The reason why they didn't have it.
I know you said Trump shut down the program.
Obama. So they've known about this particular strand of the virus for a while. Now, when Obama came into office, Obama said, okay, we have all these potential viruses. And if you remember back when Obama came into office, it was those threats of chemical warfare through disease. And so they said, well, we need to start preparing. So he started a program that was going to create vaccines for all of these viruses, right? But as soon as Trump came into office, that very program was shut down. They shut that program down that Obama had started. Obama had already foresaw this to a certain degree, but he thought it would be chemical warfare. So when Trump shut it down, and then when it springs upon us the way it did, now everyone's like, okay, well, now there's no vaccine ready. We didn't have these big companies already preparing for this. This is what Obama was planning for, but Trump shut it down. This is Trump got a lot of things right in my eyes. This is one of the things that he got wrong, unfortunately. And he left a lot of people, looking crazy, and they didn't have a vaccine ready when this hit. That's the unfortunate reality. But like the dude said in the chat, this virus isn't new. Coronavirus has been around for a long time. It's not new to these doctors. Creating a vaccine is much more difficult. Can't create it overnight. And the reason why they were able to create it so quickly is because they already had a lot of the research on creating a vaccine done from when Obama was in office, child. So, like I said, I didn't want to go into that too much. But again, Kyrie Irving has thrown a lot of mixed signals. And these mixed signals he's used to propel to try to compel others to not play, or he's used these same mixed signals for him not to play himself. And now he has to pay the piper for all of these missed games. Hold on, we got Goat James in here. Goat James, what's good, man? You think Kyrie Irving should really force a trade to the Lakers?
The Lakers don't have anything that the Nets would want. So unless a third team got involved with actual like good assets, I don't think that would be possible. But as far as what Kyrie wants, like he knows he's going to get the same deal that the Sixers are going to offer James Harden. The short-term deal. They're not going to commit long-term to him. So that's why he's trying to use other teams as leverage. But I don't think it's going to work. But if I was the Nets, like I would have done that since last year. Even when they had the big three with a Harden. Like Kyrie was like, he's not a good fit with the team. Like his limited size, his skill set, like it's kind of like redundant with Durant there. Like so, if I was the Nets, I would try to get like solid role players for Kyrie.
That's cap.
Like I would want like big wings because the main problem with the Nets is the same problem the Lakers have. They're just too small. They got all these little guards that can be punished on the defensive end. They have little versatility. So like what the Nets need is like big wings, big like 3 wings. They can get more size, like more athleticism. So if you could get that with Kyrie in a trade somehow, that would probably be the best route. And as for Kyrie, like I think the best place for him would be a team like the Knicks. Like he would be in the same situation like what a Westbrook would be. Like a team that would just give him the spotlight. He can just do what he does with no kind of championship expectations from the franchise or aspirations. That would be the best spot for Kyrie personally. Because he's at this point, like unless he's with LeBron and like LeBron's there basically like babysit him and pulling him in the right direction, like he's not a championship player. Like
I disagree.
Like
I disagree too. That shit.
No, I was gonna say go James. Because I live in New York, and we weren't expecting any championships from Julius Randle, but you see how we did him. So if Kyrie comes over here to New York and we're not at least in the playoffs, yeah, we're gonna want him out of there really quickly. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, somebody got a dog in the background. It sounds like it's coming through really loud on the mic.
But all I'm saying is back to what Guy was saying when it was like Kyrie and Kevin Durant's skill set is redundant. It's cap. How is they? First of all, Kevin Durant shoot lights out. He don't even really need the ball to score. Now, granted, Kyrie Irving is a ball dominant, kind of sort of a ball dominant player, which he is. But at the same time, though, Kevin Durant don't need the ball in his hands to score. So how is they skill set is redundant? That doesn't make sense to me. But
basically, Kyrie's like a 6'2" or 6'3" Kevin Durant. Like
no,
they basically do the same thing.
Hell no. Kyrie and Kevin Durant are two totally different players. They both
work in the mid range.
Yeah, but go James. Go James. But
if you believe that Kyrie and Kevin Durant are the same player, you crazy as hell.
Yeah, go James. Here's the big difference.
The same player.
Here's the big difference. The big difference is what you just said. I mean, even if we'll just go with what you said. They are the same player. But the big difference is the size and the length and the ability with the size and the length, your ability to defend and to change the game on both sides of the floor. So the problem is even this year, Kyrie had a lot of 50-point games. He was very impactful on the offensive end, but Kyrie's never going to be a guy like a Wiggins who could impact both sides of the floor. Yeah. And see, so when you look at what helped the Warriors win this year, right? When we look at the Warriors situation, a lot of people were calling for the Warriors to trade those young assets, bring in another star player, go get another star. But they didn't. They held on to their youth. They held on to the length, the size, their athleticism, and they put all of that around Steph Curry, Clay was still really a shell of himself, and Draymond was still Draymond, and they won a championship with far less talent than most of the teams that everyone predicted that was going to win. A lot of people predicted the Nets. A lot of people predicted the Lakers. A lot of people predicted the Suns or even the Bucks. Some people had the Bulls going, because the Bulls got their big three, their so-called big three. The unfortunate reality is sometimes that stars loaded at the top of your roster, that I don't think that formula necessarily works anymore.
It could work in LA because Kyrie would have the size would come from AD and LeBron. They would bring the size and athleticism.
You know, let me tell you what the problem is. Here's the problem: Kyrie gets hurt, your season's over.
Right.
Well,
The Warriors. See, the Warriors season wasn't. Remember, the Warriors had injuries to Draymond. Clay didn't come to the All-Star break, and they had injuries to Steph Curry this year. But they were able to sustain injuries to all of their star players. Why? Because of the depth. So if you get Kyrie Irving on that Laker team and you further handicap that team's ability to add depth, then if Kyrie goes down, you're done. Your season's over. Right. Just like when AD went down this year. Season's over. You got nothing.
That's the problem with any big three. That's the problem with any big three. But still, you can't say that the Warriors would have won the title if all their players would have been healthy. If Steph would have been healthy, they still would have won the title.
No, but so the thing is, they put themselves in a situation where even if their guys go down, they don't completely fall out of the picture. See, the Lakers were what, around like the 5-6 seed for a while, but then when their injuries hit, they fell completely out of the playoff picture. They couldn't even sustain. An injury. So that's the main thing about the playoffs is getting in. If your team, you have to plan for injuries, even though you don't want them to happen. Especially if you got Kyrie and AD on your team. So you got to plan for injuries. But how can you forecast and plan for injuries without depth on your team?
Well, that's the downside of a big three. But with a big three, if you go into with a big, like a legitimate big three in a playoff series, that would give you the advantage. But that's the point, that you have to have the luck to get there with your big three healthy. Then you would have the advantage in like a playoff series.
So you believe if everybody was healthy, that a team with a big three would have won the championship this year?
Like a good big three, like from 10 years ago, you put Miami's big three in this playoffs, and
we're talking about the big threes of this year.
Of this year, I don't see any big three that like
Harden, Kyrie, or Durant, or Westbrook, LeBron, and AD. Would any of them teams beat Golden State?
I don't think those big threes were good enough.
I would say this though. I would say this though. I think if the Bucks team were healthy, if y'all consider them a big three, if that team was healthy,
they are big three.
Giannis and Jrue Holiday, I think they would have beat the Warriors or had a chance to.
Me too. I think they would have with healthy Middleton. They would have won the championship.
Yeah,
but they're a big three too.
Yeah. Well, what I wanted to ask you, Lamont, because I know you broke it down, but how exactly did the Celtics defense stop KD and Kyrie Irving?
Because they loaded up on they loaded up on KD. So basically, if you look at their strategy, what they did with KD was they were prepared for KD before the catch. So they weren't letting him catch it on that high elbow where he likes it. They didn't let him catch it on the right wing where he likes it. And every time he caught it on those wings, they basically said, screw everyone else. We are loading up to your side early. So as soon as you make a move, you are taking one dribble in the traps. They also only allowed them to catch the ball at the top of the key. When the shot clock was dwindling down, he was well beyond the 3-point line. What did he have to do from there? Now he has to put the ball on the floor and try to cross, make a move. That's not his strength. His strength isn't putting it on the floor, crossing you up, and dancing in front of you. And so that was just one of his weaknesses. And when he tried to do that, we saw him struggle. He wasn't able to get his shot off, especially when the shot clock was dwindling, having to play from so far out. So they did a good job of loading up on KD and saying, Kyrie, you're a little man. We're going to let you score one-on-one against Marcus Smart if you can do that. They didn't have to worry about him. They were more worried about KD. They really didn't care about Kyrie. If you look at how they were defending, they were defending him one-on-one.
And also, I mean, Kyrie ain't playing up but 29 games this regular season. He played 29 games.
Okay, that's his fault.
I mean, yeah, technically. Oh well, I
Nobody
mean,
cares. That's his fault.
not necessarily because I
Yes, it
mean,
is.
he can't play because he didn't get the vaccine. I
No,
mean, the
no,
jab.
no.
He
By
didn't get the
Kyrie,
jab.
no, by Kyrie playing less games, that works in his favor because he's injury prone.
Not, no, it don't, because you don't have no continuity with the team. No, that doesn't work in his favor.
No, I'm saying
You
for
Mm.
him
don't. You
as an
don't have
individual.
no.
Listen,
Nah, I'm saying
Kyrie's getting traded away, man. I don't believe they're gonna keep that man.
no. I meant
The
for
way
Kyrie
he's
as an
the way
individual.
he's acting, they're trading him away.
You don't have no chemistry with the team when you miss that many games. It's 82 games in the season. He only played 29. How the hell do you get any chemistry with the team only playing 29 regular season games?
That's true. But here's
I'm
the
just
problem.
saying.
Here's the dilemma that Kyrie Irving is in, you guys. So the one thing Kyrie Irving absolutely cannot do, and well, the one thing he absolutely will not do is he is not going to go into free agency. If he goes into free agency, the only teams that can sign him for the contract that he wants, there's like Detroit, Houston, um, Sacramento. I mean, you're talking about all bottom tier teams. Really, most teams. There's too many teams already over the salary cap. There's only like 6 teams, and they're all at the bottom of the league that can sign him. And we know Kyrie Irving's not going to go to one of those bad teams, so he's absolutely not going to allow himself to go into free agency. He's going to sign something. But do you guys? I believe now he's trying to force the angle. He's trying to get the Brooklyn Nets to believe that all these other teams want him. They need to sign him long term, and if it doesn't work out, they can trade him. But I think he's trying to finesse his way into a long term deal. I think that's exactly what he's
Well,
trying to do.
the Nets
If
need
I'm
to
the
resign
Nets,
him
I'm trading
anyway.
Kyrie to Utah. That's what I'm going to do.
The Nets have to resign him anyway. Like they can't just let him walk.
Yeah, but the Nets
So
have already dictated their terms. We want a short
yeah,
term deal, and it's going to be loaded with incentives that are going to be based on your availability.
yeah. That
Mm.
And
well,
he
that's
don't
it.
want that. And over the last 3 years, he's only shown them that he's not going to be available for a majority non-basketball reasons.
Mhm.
Mm.
Like the
Mm.
only thing he can do is opt in for his final year, and then play out the contract, and then try to prove himself to the Nets again that he's a reliable piece. But I don't think he wants to do that either.
People
He,
keep
he wants
saying
a new deal.
the Lakers, but don't the Lakers still have the mandate? Or am I mistaken?
The Lakers?
Nah,
Yeah,
the Lakers
not
never had a
Lakers. Los
mandate.
Angeles. Los Angeles.
No, it was just the Bay Area that had the.
Yeah, that was like San Francisco.
Yeah, it was like where the Warriors play.
Hold on,
Where they had.
we got outside Jew. He just pulled up. What are your thoughts on this with Kyrie Irving? Do you think it's all cap?
I mean, yeah, but I think the media and especially people like Stephen A. Smith made this thing bigger than what it is. My whole thing is this, right? I've been following basketball for a long time. Since Kyrie was in Cleveland and Boston, we never heard him, not showing up to work and all that. He had injuries, yes. He went to Brooklyn his first year. He got hurt with a shoulder. His second year, it was a shortened season. Yeah, he took that 2-week, that 2-week absent, whatever. I didn't like that. That was his fault, whatever. Cool. He came back. He had to go through the protocol. He was out for about a month. Came back. They went to the Eastern Conference Finals. This year, due to the mandate, whatever, I mean, he stood his ground. He said he's not taking the vaccine, but they're making it seem like he don't want to work. He wants to work. It's just that he don't want to take a vaccine. And people like Stephen A. Smith and other people, they just made it bigger than what it is. And plus, I'm going to say this. This is just my opinion. When you a black man and when you on a certain stature and when you don't follow the flock, when you don't follow what other stars do, this is the feedback you get.
Well,
And you get it. And you pretty much get it from your own kind, like Stephen A. Smith and so others.
well, I
Okay,
gotta
That's my
but
whole take on it.
Well, I got to say this. First of all, you lie. They never made it to the Eastern Conference Finals. That's number one. And
Yes,
then,
they did. They made it to the
no, they
Eastern
didn't.
Conference
They
Finals.
never made it to the
no,
Eastern
they
Conference
didn't.
Finals. They never made it to the Eastern Conference Finals.
They
That's
lost in
number
the
one.
second round.
Last year
No,
they lost
they
to the
lost.
Bucks in the second round. KD, remember?
I thought that was the Eastern Conference Finals.
No, that was in the
No,
second
what the
round.
fuck? No, they
That was
didn't,
in the
bro.
second round. They lost to the Bucks in the second round. That was the second round.
You might be talking about Boston,
Yeah, man.
2018 Boston.
You got to get your facts straight before you start talking.
Hold on one sec. Hello?
Yeah, you still here?
Yeah.
Like responding to what he was saying, you know, you can try to say the media is trying to dirty up Kyrie's name, and they're trying to make the situation what it probably isn't, or in history what it's not. But this is how the GM, the actual decision makers, feel about him. They don't feel he's reliable. They don't want to commit to the dude. They feel he's a flake. So when the people responsible for paying you, they feel a certain way about you because of your past performance, like what are you gonna do at that point?
Past performance like what though?
Past performance of what? Like what he's been doing since he got to the Nets. He's barely played. Like that matters to the people making the decisions.
No, he's missed games for more than just injury.
Yeah, he missed games because of the vaccine.
Yeah, that's a big deal.
What fault is it? It's his fault.
That's a big deal. Why act like?
Hold on, but what about last year when he missed games? That wasn't injury.
That was 2 weeks.
That's missing games.
That's missing games.
So all right. So what about AD?
That's injury.
Okay. What about Kawhi Leonard?
That's injury,
my nigga. What are you talking about?
So Kyrie, it's not injury.
No.
Nah,
this season, hell no.
He missed half the season. He missed half the season
talking about
over a personal battle beef with the state of New York.
Mm-hmm.
So let me ask you a question. If you was Kyrie, would you leave New York and be like, you know what? I don't want nothing to do with New York. Heaven knows if there's another outbreak. They may come back with another mandate. I don't want no parts of New York. I'm out.
The problem is he's still under contract with his team. He can't just say I'm out. Remember, he signed. He committed to this team. He's the one that committed to this team. He's the one that committed to Kevin Durant. They're the ones that committed to this team. And
He's
so
not lying, bro. They watched 2019 All-Star. You saw Kyrie talking to KD or come to the Nets. How is he lying? Nobody's lying.
Well, if we're being completely honest, the Nets underachieved. They all their years, 3 years together, they underachieved. Let's just be real about it. They definitely they underachieved.
But
severely.
is this all Kyrie's fault though? Is this all Kyrie's fault?
I wouldn't say it's all Kyrie's fault because he's not the only one on the team. But what I will say, he's a large part of their failures though, because he hasn't been there.
To be honest, it is all Kyrie's fault.
And I wouldn't say it's all his fault because again, he's not the only one on the team. But it's largely his fault though because he haven't been there. I mean, KD been literally out there by himself the whole time. When they played against Boston, when you thought they went to the Eastern Conference Finals, they played against not Boston, the Bucks. When they played against the Bucks, and I mean, Kyrie was hurt that series.
Hold on, let me get to Pod City. Pod City TV. He just pulled up. I want to get his thoughts on this as well. What are your thoughts on this?
I feel like Kyrie's best landing spot's the Clippers, man. They're the best team. They're the team that's most equipped to tolerate that kind of stuff, if that's the word. You know what I'm saying? Like people take days off, weeks off, months off, or we'll make an excuse for you and say it's an injury or whatever the case is. What I mean to say is they're big on player management. What is the term?
Load management.
But where's the same? But listen, where's the same?
He don't got
Derrick Rose though.
Hold on, man. Let him talk. Wait, whoa, let him talk.
Hold on, one at a time. One at a time. Let him finish.
All I wanted to say is that all I wanted to say to conclude that was he don't got many choices right now, man. He's just done showed his colors, man, and like nobody's gonna be willing to invest like that, bro. Like it's just what it is.
So let me ask you a question. Where's the same answer for Derrick Rose? Knicks gave Derrick Rose a big contract and gave the Knicks 20 to 25 games. So where's the same energy for Derrick Rose?
Yeah, but
Nah, Derrick
Are
Rose
you
is
serious?
unfortunate.
hold
Man.
on 1
Are
second,
you
y'all. Hold on.
serious right now?
Hold on,
Derrick
y'all.
Rose is
Hold on
unfortunate.
1 second. Hold on 1 second. Hold on 1 second. Remember, it's a difference between being injured and missing games and voluntarily missing games. When we look at Kyrie Irving, remember when you're talking about a Brooklyn Nets team, okay, it's one thing to just miss games, okay, and I think the Brooklyn Nets were very understandable to him missing games. But it's another thing to have a team commit so much money to you that they are now in the luxury tax and they're paying a huge luxury tax bill just to have you there because they are really pushing to win the championships. If you look at their luxury tax bill was almost as high as Golden State's, and even the Lakers. When you spending that much money, you want to be able to find a way to get some of those dividends back. And generally, you get your luxury tax bill back through the playoffs because you can make probably about 10, 15, maybe 20 million per round. And as you progress through the playoffs with your super team, you can make some of that money back and you recoup. Even if you lose the finals, you can usually make that luxury tax bill back up. This is why Golden State has no problem with paying it time and time again. So when you are also costing your team additional money on top of the money that they're already paying you, but yet you're voluntarily taking this time away, your team clearly showed that they didn't have chemistry. Obviously, James Harden was disgruntled by your actions so much so that he forced a trade out. They had a Ben Simmons that wasn't ready to go. And now you got KD, who's coming back from a major injury, out here trying to carry a load for a team that lacks chemistry. Looks like they had a ton of locker room issues, no consistency. Patty Mills, who was playing great at the beginning of the year when Kyrie wasn't there, couldn't make a shot towards the end of the year. All of a sudden, he lost his consistency because his role kept changing. What do you do with a player like that who has only shown you that he's going to cause confusion within the team on a year-by-year basis? Every year that he's been there, he's caused confusion.
I beg to differ on that.
So what year has he been with Brooklyn where he hasn't been the focal point of confusion?
2019.
To me, I don't see no confusion. I just see a situation last year. I mean, not this season, but the season before, he took them 2 weeks off, which I didn't like. You know what I'm saying? He should have at least, I mean, listen, if you don't feel, if you feel some type of way, you need time off, let Steve Nash know, let whatever, you know what I'm saying? Let management know, listen, I need a week or two off. I'm not really, whatever, cool. You know what I'm saying? But end of the day, I'm saying this because, listen, I'm unvaxxed. I'm not taking that, all right? I feel, it's his body, his choice. And I feel that it was an unfortunate situation for him. And I feel that what's his name, Eric Adams, our mayor, he could have been disqualified that mandate BS. But he let it prolong until the MLB season came. Then he lifted it up. And that's when Kyrie, could have played home games and whatnot. But I just think that, everybody getting at Kyrie, when to me it's not all Kyrie. That's just how I feel.
When do you think? I think what's happening now, and like I'm not taking shots at your talking point because I know you put a lot of onus on Stephen A. Smith, but I think it comes a time where you have to start being accountable for the actions that you take. I mean, I know that if you feel like what he did this year, he was doing it for the right cause. Even if you're doing it for the right cause, like if I'm working a 9-to-5 job and I tell my job, look, George Floyd was killed. I'm going to Minnesota. I got to go march with the people because that's the right thing to do. Well, you know what my job is going to tell me? We appreciate your efforts. We appreciate it, but when your vacation days run out and you're not here, we're probably going to fire you. You're going to face some type of accountability for you not doing the job that you're getting paid to do. I think now that he's coming up for a contract, as much as we want to applaud some of the social things that people say he's doing, again, there is a flip side to that. There is you contractually agreed to play basketball for the Brooklyn Nets. They're paying you a king's ransom to go hoop. We wouldn't know who Kyrie Irving was if it wasn't for the NBA and basketball. We wouldn't even care who he was if it wasn't the NBA. So the NBA gave him this big platform. The NBA gave him this big name. And there's responsibilities that come with that. And the primary responsibility is to actually go out and hoop. You got to go do your job.
Understandable, but at the same time, you know, when it comes to somebody's health, hey, you know what I mean? You can't force somebody to take something that they don't want to take. And it's kind of out of my hands that, you know.
That is true.
Huh?
That is true what you're saying, bro.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, listen, people who took that shot got sick. Some people took that shot, got personal, you know.
Here's the
thing.
Outside you, here's the thing. The thing is, we live in America, right? So, you know, there's a black market in America. If you wanted to go around that shit, you can go around that shit. The thing is, he wanted to make an impact. He wanted to make an impact and be some kind of a martyr. See, and then he's doing that, right, with people that are investing in him. Billionaires that are investing in him. Now, billionaires, they don't beef like we beef. They beef the media. You know what I'm saying? So if you think that these people ain't cutting Stephen A. check for mentioning all that shit all that time,
and it proves my point about Stephen A.
You know what I'm saying? Stephen A. is doing his job, bro. Stephen A. is doing his job.
Yeah, he's doing his job, but doing your job, but keep mentioning Kyrie Irving. Come on, man.
Yeah, but what I'm trying to tell you is, how do you know if the owners won't slide on the money? How do you know that the owners won't slide on the money? Look at this Deshaun Watson shit, bro. There was a football owner that got caught with masseuses. Was there not? They took that shit away real quick. But look at the Deshaun Watson shit.
Hold on, one at a time, y'all. Let's go one at a time.
In sports in general, like you go against that contract, and these people are liable to fuck you over for all the shit that they taught you in the first place. You dig what I'm saying? So you just gotta be careful, though. You know what I mean?
Kyrie didn't lose any. Kyrie didn't lose any money. Like he just wants a new contract. And he didn't perform up to the level.
That's even worse for the owner. So I gotta pay this dude and ain't even get on the court.
Yeah,
that's even worse.
But you know what though? But you got to think about it like this: the Nets did right by Kyrie. All the time that he took off, they still did right by him. Right? Obviously, they paid him for as many games as they could pay him this year. When he took his 2 weeks off the year before, they paid him. When he told the team he didn't want to play in the bubble, they still paid him. They've went above and beyond paying this man. And sticking their necks out for him, even through the injuries, even through when he wants to randomly leave, even when he doesn't want to show up. So, and they went out there and said, you know what, we're okay with it. And they've tried to quiet the noise and say it's not that big a deal. We side with him. But see, now it comes time for Kyrie to be accountable for his absences. And now he's going to have to be accountable with his pocketbook. They're telling him, we're not going to give you a long-term deal. And the next deal that you sign with us, it's going to be filled with incentives. And these incentives are going to be based on your availability because you have a proven track record. You have a proven track record of not showing up when we need you. Remember, in NBA season, if you look at the Warriors, when you talk about how they said they won, it was all about chemistry. When you look at the Boston Celtics, it took them a whole half a season to get their chemistry. And when they got it right, they almost blew it because Robert Williams got hurt, but it took them a half of a season just to get their chemistry right. Being on the court with your team for the full season is imperative to winning the championship, especially when you're looking at a team. Indeed. This team is spending. Right, when we look at how much they're spending, y'all, they spent in salary last year. They spent $174 million. They paid Kyrie Irving $35 million to play basketball last year. That's what was his salary, and he made the same thing the year before. But they're paying, and they're paying a crazy tax bill, but they're not getting much for it. They're not getting much in return. The only one that's really shelling out effort is KD.
So let me ask you a question. Would you give AD a max deal?
Hell no.
Would you give Kawhi Leonard a max deal?
Well, but if you're talking about a player who's just injured. Yes, I could give them a max deal, and I would, because the thing is, even if you're injured a lot, they're going to give you a deal with certain incentives because you have to show them that you're injured. Steph Curry, when Steph Curry kept getting those ankle injuries, he couldn't run and get mad because the Warriors had to offer him a lower deal than what most rookies of his skill set will get. He said, you know what, I understand. I'm going to sign it. And what am I going to do? He took accountability and said, I'm going to take my off seasons to strengthen my ankles, make sure I don't consistently have ankle injury after ankle injury again. And when it's time for me to get paid again, now we have a new discussion. He took accountability. He didn't complain about getting lowballed. Draymond Green voluntarily took less money for his own reasons. But when it came time for him to get paid, he got paid.
There's a lot of fucked up things about Kyrie. I'm sorry for harm, but there's
Like
a lot.
what? Like what?
So, like when he was here with the Celtics, right? He ended up leaving, right? After he promised the team that he was going to stay. He ended up leaving. And then because the team gave him so much time with the ball, Rozier ended up leaving with him. A player that previously balled.
Well, Rozier was up and coming. And I think he wanted. I think he wanted to bounce. I think he wanted to bounce. Realize, like, you know what, I'm up and coming, and you know what, let me go somewhere where I could blossom.
Yeah, no, he left because of Kyrie.
It's insulting, but it's insulting. Like, oh, we put Kyrie, we gave him Kyrie. Y'all trusted Kyrie so much. All right, so go with him. Jordan,
but did he miss games though? But did he miss games though?
Who?
Kyrie in Boston, yeah. Injuries though, right?
He missed games. And guess what? No. He didn't even ball against that Bucks series. Against that Bucks series, he didn't even ball, bro.
Fam, we talking about Boston.
He got locked down by L. Bledsoe.
We talking about Boston. Did he voluntarily miss games in Boston?
Bro, he missed the whole year. He missed the whole year here. He was here for 3 years and missed the whole year. He really only played for 1 year. Okay. In Boston, who's asking me this?
Outside Jews, me. Did he voluntarily miss games in Boston?
He played. He was here for like 3 years, right? And he played an equivalent of like a year and a half.
He was there for 2 years.
Where in Boston?
Yeah. And I don't know if he made there for 3 years. I think I'm giving him too much credit for 3 years. I think he was there for 2 years.
I think he was there for like 2 years. Maybe 2.5, give or take.
2 years. And man, he didn't play fucking 100.
Because the injuries, dude.
Well, what do you want me to do?
All right,
what do you want me to do if I'm the owner? If I'm the owner,
so what you want Kyrie to do?
So even then, I said I want to sign you, and you said you want to sign to us, and then the last minute you went.
Hold on. So outside you,
he's not good. He's not good for the little.
Outside the Nets paid Kyrie Irving $35 million.
Right.
And he played in 29 of 82 games this year. And this year, the games that he missed wasn't due to injury. The games that he missed this year, because it wasn't because of the vaccine, it's because he made the personal choice to not take it. And because just like all the other players had a choice to take it or not to take it. And because he was only, he did get paid the majority of what he was owed this year, but he missed over more than half the season. He only played in 29 games, including and then you have to include the 4 games where they got swept against Boston.
Right.
So,
well, I mean, this
is not due to injury.
He's a selfish player.
I know that. We all know this wasn't due to injury. This was he took a stand for something, which I salute him. All right. End of the day, sometimes you gotta stand for something. You know what I mean?
We're not saying you can't stand for nothing. What I'm saying is, if you want to stand for something, I'm going to salute you. But you also have to deal with the repercussions. So for example, when you talk about the civil rights era, and those people were marching in the streets. Well, that we applaud that. But what comes with marching in the streets back in the 60s? They might spray you with water hoses that feel like people hitting you with baseball bats. That's when you might get locked up. You might go to jail. These are the repercussions of it. But they couldn't go to jail and cry about it.
Bill Russell
didn't cry about it.
To the Hall of Fame.
He didn't cry about it.
No, hold on. But what I'm saying is, his crying about it, he's doing it in a sneaky fashion right now by
Who's he doing
leaking out.
sneaky fashion?
But because of what I said in the beginning. In the beginning, what I said about this story is I believe that this story was being leaked out. Hold on, somebody got some noise. Somebody got some weird noise. Whose mic is that? Let me see.
Is that mine?
Is that outside you? I don't know. Somebody's mic sound like it's going crazy. Let me see. Is that Johnny? It might be Johnny. I just muted Johnny. But no, I'm saying this is how you can tell he doesn't want to be accountable for it. He's trying to finesse his way into a deal by leaking out this story, talking about these contract talks are at an impasse. The talks are not at an impasse. The only impasse is that they gave their contract offer and you don't like the offer. There is no impasse, but the offer is based on you not being available. There is no impasse. So then you leak this story out about the Lakers wanting to trade for him and the Knicks wanting them, and then you throw in the Clippers. People try to make it seem like this is just some breaking news by Shams Charania. It wasn't. This was leaked out by Kyrie's camp. I guarantee it.
Yeah.
Because he's trying to finesse his way into a max deal, even though he doesn't deserve it.
So what deal would you give him?
I would give him a short-term deal. I would give him a 1-and-1 type deal full of incentives.
The max that
why,
can give him
why would you pay him long
that
term?
can give him that year too, because he's that nice. But it's gonna be full of incentives.
He's nice, but he got to play though. It ain't no point of being nice. You barely on.
Y'all on, yo, listen, with all due respect, y'all on some Stephen A. Smith stuff right now.
Nah,
Yes, y'all are.
Listen to me. Ain't nobody on no nothing.
Stephen A. Smith, my nigga. I don't follow that bitch ass nigga.
Hey, hold on, MD. Come on, MD. Stop with the craziness, man.
Wait,
man. Calm
All
down.
that don't even matter, man. It ain't the point of being on no Stephen A. Smith type.
Yes,
man.
y'all are, man. Y'all on some Stephen A.
It's no point in
it's not,
that.
bro.
It doesn't have nothing to do with Stephen A. Smith.
Thank you.
Wait. Listen to me. It don't have nothing to do with Stephen A. Smith. But what it has something to do with, if I'm paying you to do a job, you got to do that job. Regardless of whether Stephen A. Smith said or your boss said. You got to do the job. Listen to me, guys.
Say that about Derrick Rose.
Wait a minute. Listen to me, guys. If you paying,
you might as well say that about AD.
Say things you got a job. Say things you got a job and you the boss of that job, and you paying your workers a certain amount of money to perform a job that you require them to do a job, but they not getting that job done. What would your next words be? You're gonna be pissed off because they're not doing what you're paying them to do.
Right.
No. Hold on. You know, let me give him an example that's more relatable. Here's an example for you. If you work at my construction company and while you're working, a crane falls on your leg and you break your leg. Well, you're going to be able to go home until you heal up, get workers' compensation, and you'll still get paid because you got hurt in the middle of doing your job. If you're talking about people like Derrick Rose and AD who got hurt while hooping, well, that happens. Injuries happen, and you will still get compensated if you get hurt, if you get injured while hooping. Now, if you
peer pressure,
hold on 1 second. But if you so let's not conflate players who got hurt while hooping to a guy that is voluntarily not playing basketball because of his own personal beliefs. He's voluntarily stepped away to not play because of his own personal issues with the vaccine.
Right.
So that's on him. So now he has to accept anything that comes with it. The criticism, right? And the criticism is going to stem from what? His team struggling mightily when he's not there. Not only is his team not struggling, his team is not just struggling. Obviously, KD, too much load on KD. James Harden gets disgruntled. Now you have to deal with that issue. They trade him. You bring in Ben Simmons. So again, everything's starting to fall apart simply because the guy that you have almost 30% of your salary cap invested into wants to voluntarily not play because of a personal issue, which is fine. But now he has to accept the repercussions for that.
I agree with that.
I agree with that. That roster is full of egotistical stars.
So let me ask you a question.
You know that's a lot of money going around.
If you was KD, right? Let's say by the 29th, if Kyrie say, "Listen, I'm out," because of such and such. If you was KD, what would you do? Would you stay or would you be like, you know what, I'm out too?
KD's probably in the background pushing their hand, bro, on some real shit, bro. You think he liked how that shit went down? After game one, I don't know what happened after game one after Kyrie dropped 51, but something happened in that locker room, son. Something happened.
Well, to be honest with you, it's not only just Kyrie and KD. Nets been plagued with injuries. They don't have no two-way players. Joe Harris was hurt. They let go James Johnson for what reason, I don't know. They didn't, Steve Nash didn't play his bigs. Should have played LaMarcus, should have played Blake.
Should have played Blake a little bit more. I'll give you that.
Yeah, he should have played Blake a little bit more. So my whole thing is this, fam. I hear what y'all saying, and when you take a stand for something, you're going to, face the repercussions. But my whole thing is this. The way how the media and even y'all, with all due respect, y'all make it seem like throughout his career, he just voluntarily missed games.
Yeah,
he just got hurt. Hold on. It's just this year, he took a stance for something. And okay, all right. This is
he did that for the bubble.
What he got to deal with, huh?
But that doesn't matter though, bro. Just because you take a stance for something, you can't let that affect what you do at your job that you're actually getting paid for. You're not getting paid to go out there and march.
He did that for the bubble, right? He did that for the bubble, right? And I think he was like president of the Player Association or something like that, or assistant, or whatever the case was.
Yeah.
And he encouraged all the other players not to play too. So how you think your company's gonna look at you?
Because
wait now. You can't blame all that on Kyrie. Now it's a lot of players didn't want to be in the bubble now.
Nah, but
hold on, no. But the whole point is any player that didn't go to the bubble, they didn't get paid. That's what comes with not going to the bubble. You don't get paid. And look, and the NBA said we're not going to penalize you if you don't want to come, but you just won't get paid. That's okay.
Brother,
so, but the thing is, it's another example of him saying not going to play. And everybody kind of had a pass this year because it was still kind of new. But then when you go into the next year in the shortened season, so you think that next year it was a condensed season. The games are more valuable. And in a season where that's condensed and the games are more valuable, you go on a 2-week hiatus.
Outside
going
you
into the playoffs. Another example of you abandoning the team. Abandoning the team
was the playoffs. Nope. I disagree with you on that. I was not
outside you. Like you got.
Kyrie got injured last year though.
Right.
Like you got to understand, like
all those games were more valuable in that season.
Brooklyn got really fleeced by Boston, bro. And
salute to Showtime. I see you pulled up. What's good, Showtime?
Pierce Garnett trade. Brooklyn got really fleeced. So for them to get like swept in the playoffs, that's a big insult to them.
Yeah, right. But at the same time, like I said, I think Steve Nash played a part. He should have played. He should have played some plays. He should have played Cam Thomas, the rookie. He's somewhat of a two-way player.
Can't blame Steve.
Some of it.
Cam Thomas was not going to do nothing but stop it.
Nah, you can't blame Steve Nash because I remember. Before the wait a minute.
Email Doka was a
blame Steve Nash because I remember before the season started, Kyrie said that they didn't need a coach.
Yep,
hold on, but did y'all hear the news today? Did y'all hear the news today that got leaked out as well? That and when you look at why this team was so broken and why they were so divided, and when you say you have a broken locker room, they said Kyrie Irving, instead of a lot of times he would sit out practice, he wouldn't even participate, and when the practice was over, he would bring in guys that he liked playing with, and they would run their own practice without the coaches there. When you talk about a divided team,
that's Stephen A. Smith.
It don't matter now. But the thing is, he's highly credible when it comes to reporting stuff like that.
That's a crazy story to make up, bro.
You don't make that up without people. You don't make that up without fact.
Listen, the way how they've been coming at Kyrie Irving, shit, you never know, man. I'm just saying.
That came from within the Nets organization. That was a leak.
Stephen A. Smith, man.
No, that came from the Nets organization.
Hold on. I guarantee if that wasn't true, you would have seen so many Nets players and people coming out on Twitter saying that's false. Not one person's come out to say that's false.
Word.
Whenever Stephen A. Smith says one thing wrong about KD immediately takes to Twitter and be like, "That's a lie." KD didn't take to Twitter. Did KD take to Twitter and say that was a lie?
No. So all right, so let me ask you a question then. Would you? I mean, that tells you about Steve Nash and that tells you how much they respect Steve Nash. So would you want somebody to coach your team when the players don't even respect you?
Exactly. That's when he had to. Well, I give you that. I give you that. That's when he had to nip it in the butt and throw him out the practice or whatever.
Hold on. But you at the same time, hold on. They went and asked KD and Kyrie about the coach that they select.
Yep.
Kyrie is one of the players that gave him the thumbs up. So you can't now, after he's hired, be like, he's not good enough. I don't want him here. And we're going to have our own practices. If you get coaching there, you have to understand, I got to fall in line. This is the guy we entrust with running the team. We trust him to that degree. We're going to fall in line. This is why the Spurs organization was so successful under Tim Duncan. Because Tim Duncan said, I like Popovich. I'm going to fall in line. So everybody else fell in line. How do you expect the rest of your team to fall in line with what Steve Nash says if they are clearly watching Kyrie Irving be insubordinate the entire time?
You can't build a championship culture with players like
that.
Your
culture's done. And remember, I did a video earlier this year after I think it was after maybe the third week into the season. And I'm looking at the faces on the bench and the body language. And I'm looking at it. And I said on the stream, I said, something don't look right. I said, there's something's going on in that locker room. When you look at the faces, the James Harden, these guys on the bench, they not cheering for each other. I said, something's going on in that locker room where this team is broken because Kyrie's not there. And now when the season ends, all the stories start to filter out about how broken this team actually was. So
that actually makes a lot of sense now, because it did look like that. So it did look like half of the team was half of the team, another half was another half of the team. It looked like that. So maybe if they were conducting separate.
I never heard of a part-time player. I never heard of a part-time player.
That's me too. But I mean, it is what it is. Yo, he took a stance.
Yo, outside you.
I didn't take that B jab, and I ain't never taken that. So shout out to Kyrie Irving.
Okay, but you're not paying him. You're not his employee.
It don't matter. It don't matter.
It does.
Outside you, are you from Brooklyn?
I don't trust the government.
What you think doesn't matter, dude?
Okay, hold on. Outside you. So if I came to work for you, and you paying me $30 an hour, and let's say I signed a contract. Let's say you paid me salary, and you paid me my whole year's salary up front. Right? Let's say, and then all of a sudden, I signed a contract. Let's say you paid me salary. And then I all of a sudden say I can't show up to work. I got some personal stuff going on, private issue or something. Whatever the issue is, are you still going to want to pay me if I'm not there?
Well, if you're taking that time off, I ain't going to pay you.
Okay, but what if I'm contracted if I'm contractually obligated to be there? Let's say I use up all my days off, my whatever days I had to leave off, and I'm still not back, and I'm contractually obligated to be working for you. How you gonna
pay? You're contractually obligated to get paid, so you paying him anyways. Outside you, even though
are you gonna pay me? Are you gonna be fine with paying you?
He's gonna pay you, but what are you gonna do when that contract comes? You know what I mean? Expires.
If it expires, it expires. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time,
let him go, right?
Hold on. If this is a consistent thing, I'm gonna let you go. If this is just a one-time thing, I'm gonna give you a chance. But listen, if this happen again, I gotta let you go.
No. Was this a one-time thing with Kyrie, or was it a consistent thing?
Due to what happened this year, you can say it's consistent, but at the same time, I mean, hey, it's he took a stance.
That's so I'm saying you can't set a standard for the Brooklyn Nets that you're not willing to take yourself. If you want them to give him a pass and treat him like his time off was nothing, then you need to be pushing for him to get a max deal, and the Brooklyn Nets should not hold him accountable for the time he was away.
Yeah, unless you're a Nets fan, I don't understand. Unless you're a Nets fan, like I think you just looking at the fame and the marketability of Kyrie. Not really.
What I would do, I would get. I mean, you know, I would give him a 3-year deal. After the third year is optional, whatever.
Because of his fame or his availability. Why are you gonna give him his 3-year deal?
Listen, man. Listen. A lot of these guys, listen. At the end of the day, these guys today now, they can't even give you a full season. Let's call it what it is. A lot of players is getting hurt, whatever. You understand what I'm saying? So my whole thing is this: a lot of these guys that's getting paid max dollars, they're not going to give you a full season anyway.
No, but the max is 5 years. AD and Kawhi got the 5-year max. That's what Kyrie's not going to get.
Well, somebody like AD, he ain't getting no max from me. That dude.
Well, he got it from the Lakers.
Games. He could barely give me 50 games.
It doesn't matter.
That much Kyrie your boy. So why are you gonna give Kyrie a max?
Huh?
It doesn't. The team that Kyrie wants to play for, they're not going to give him the 5-year max. So what is he going to do now?
Yeah,
they might give him a 3 or 4 year.
He doesn't want 3 or 4 years. He wants a 5-year max.
Yeah,
I didn't hear that. So
that's the max contract. 5 years.
5 years.
Oh, he definitely wants a max contract. He wants a 5-year max for sure. I mean, what? He's over 30. The likelihood of getting this type of super
max. 31 years old, right? He's like 31
this might be his last like super max type deal. I mean, he wants to cash in, and the fact that he might not be able to cash in with his injury history. I mean, you want to be able to cash in, especially when you know it might be the last one you get for your career.
Personally, I'm gonna leave it like this. The way how New York is, and we don't know what else is going to happen. If I was Kyrie, I'll be like, listen, I'm out. I don't know what's going to happen. And I don't want to be suited up for next year. And then, boom, another mandate. Everybody got to be vaccinated, double vax, whatever. I'm like, listen, I'm out. KD, my bad. I'm sorry. But I don't want to be put in a situation. Let me go to another market, maybe a smaller market where, you know, they're not really on it with the mandate and build from there.
So where he going to go then?
So here's the problem. He has the opportunity.
Go to the African League, bro.
No, here's the problem. He has the opportunity to do that right now. He could literally be honest with everyone and just be like, "Look, I fear that this city is going to come up with another mandate. I don't want to miss a whole bunch of games. How come he just doesn't go ahead and opt out now and say, I'm just going to go ahead and go play for the Detroit Pistons or the Houston Rockets, one of the teams that have cap to bring me in under this max deal, but then I don't have to worry about this other stuff." But why is he still pushing it? Why is he still pushing to re-sign with Brooklyn, even with all the worries?
Rockets. I'm sorry. I'm going to cut you off. The GM from Houston Rockets said, "Yo, Kyrie, come to Houston. We don't deal with that mandate BS, whatever. Come to Houston. We got you."
Yeah, but they'll be a lottery team.
So Houston for John Wall.
They will shut down Kyrie.
Yeah. Why not?
Yeah, but they're not doing that.
But you know what though?
Hold on. But y'all gotta understand.
If I was KD,
my thing is they might do that. But is KD doing that?
No, it's not KD. Why would the Brooklyn Nets take a horrible deal like that and then hard cap themselves? So because if they sign and trade for John Wall, you're already getting a guy that hasn't played in 2 years back due to injury, or just last year he was sitting out because the Houston Rockets didn't want to play him. Then you also take his money on, and you're hard capped, so you really can't bring in any additional resources to help your team out. Why would you do that? You'd be better off just letting them walk.
I
don't know his contract.
Why would you hard cap yourself? They already, remember, you guys, their salary is $174 million. They'll be hard capped if they sign and trade. They'll be done. They got the second highest salary in the NBA.
Hey, listen, I'm going to end. Hey, listen, I'm going to end it like this. If you really think about it, they didn't really need Kyrie. They only needed what's his name on KD, because at the time they had what's his name son that playing for Minnesota, the point guard Russell D'Lo. You know what I mean? They didn't really need him. They just needed KD. But in all reality, I call this karma. Reason why, because look what you know, they brought Barclays to downtown Brooklyn. push a lot of black folk. You know what I'm saying? A lot of black folk ain't had nowhere to go, whatever.
But you
So
gotta
I think
understand something.
Bro,
this
you're
kind
not
of
wrong. You're not wrong, bro. We're not saying you're wrong, bro. We're not saying you're wrong. You might be right with all that shit. Yeah, it is, dog. We
Yeah,
still
yo,
wear
You gotta
masks.
understand something though. KD
I'm a
wasn't,
spiritual person like that, so this could be karma. Just saying.
Brother,
but
but
you
you
gotta
gotta
understand
understand. You
something though.
got
KD
okay.
wasn't,
Since you
KD
want to go
wasn't
down that
working.
road, since you want to go down that road, bro, you gotta understand that we still under Rome's control, right? So while we
What?
still under Rome's control, Italy, Rome. If you really like, you know what I mean. Since you want to go down that road, we're still there's all Roman law, bro. The Colosseums everywhere, the bread and circus, right? That's what they call it. Yeah, so like
Something
you
like
know you
that.
want so you want to live up to that, right? You were 5 years old and you want to be a basketball player. You want to be in that circus, right? And then when you get there, you don't want to be there no more. After people gave you that contract and all this other shit, and gave you your fame to a Nike contract that you about to lose.
But all I'm saying is,
So you might be right, Jew. Like in the future,
but all I'm saying is KD wasn't
might
going
be a
there.
Muhammad Ali figure in the
But
future.
KD wasn't going there. I mean to say KD wasn't going there without Kyrie. The only reason why KD came is because of Kyrie.
KD almost came to Boston, and Kyrie ended up in Boston anyway.
No, he almost came to the Knicks, but you know the streets talk. The Knicks organization was very, iffy. That's why they went to
Organization, I don't know.
Ain't no way I would go to the Knicks. Ain't no fucking way.
That's another good organization. I don't know what they're doing. At least the Nets are trying, but I feel like they don't know. They're not getting the finances.
As long as the Knicks got James Dolan as their owner, I would never go to the Knicks ever.
Yeah. Only thing I'm gonna say is, yo, man, shout out to Kyrie. He stood for something. You know what I mean? It is what it is. Unvaxxed lives matter. Y'all be safe, stay on code, and life goes on, man. Peace.
All right, man.
Yeah, but yeah,
but
I tell you, now this why I come in at, though. This why I come in at. I don't think the Knicks.
Kyrie, stuff, man.
Hold on, y'all. Let's go one at a time.
Yo, nobody's on Stephen A. Smith.
We just coming out of the owner's point of view, my G.
Kyrie and KD would have been good. They should have traded for James Harden. That's all I kept on saying that. They didn't need James Harden. They should have kept that team like that.
Actually, James Harden was keeping that move. That team looking good, bro.
They didn't need James Harden.
They traded all the depths. Jared Allen, Caruso, with Harden.
That team would have been amazing if they would have just kept that team like it was with Kyrie and KD.
And Mingo, that's what happened. That's what they should have did. If they would have held on to all of the players that gave them their depth, like the Jared Allens, and you just go with your stars. That's what Golden State did. Golden State looked at the market and was like, it's probably not worth it to thin ourselves out just to push for another big three when we got all of this youth right here that we could just develop and build up, and it might be more fruitful. And both the teams that were in the finals are teams that developed their youth. They held on. They didn't trade the Pritchards. They didn't trade Robert Williams. They didn't trade these young guys. They traded for a few assets in there. They got Tice back. They got Horford back. But for the most part, that's all mostly homegrown talent on both of those teams. I mean, maybe there's something for them to look for with Kyrie. I think it's addition by subtraction. If he walks, they're in a really good situation if he walks because they have a lot of cap space now. A lot of cap space now where they can bring in some veteran guys to help fill out that roster. You still got Ben Simmons who's going to come back healthy, hopefully. So it's not the end of the world if he does walk. I mean, he walked away from the Celtics. Celtics didn't get nothing for him.
Well,
the
Lamont,
Celtics are just fine.
Well, Lamont, let me ask you this. What you think Bradley Beal going to do?
He's staying in DC. He's going to take that money.
He got
I don't know.
He's taking the money for it.
I honestly don't know what Bradley Beal is going to do. I think it's going to be all based on if he really wants to win or not. Right now, I think the Wizards want to part ways with him so they can start really grooming the young talent. I think they really, really kind of want to start over, but they just don't want to do him bogus since he says he wants to stay. But
what kind of young talent do they have?
I mean, you see,
Kuzma, that guy.
they got Kuzma. They still got Montrezl Harrell. They drafted Corey Kispert.
No,
I
they
mean, they got
didn't.
some.
He's on the Hornets. Why are you talking about Lamar?
I mean,
I thought
not
I thought
Montrez, not Montrez, not Montrez, not Montrez. I'm just talking about you got Kuzma. You got Kuzma, y'all. That's the young talent that you can build up. You got Corey Kispert, who you see out towards the end of the year. They started starting them. They got the young big man over there. I mean, they got a lot of young. I think they just want to start over. Right now, they're not going to win. Even with Bradley Beal there, he's just kind of in the way because you're not going to win. You have this talent over there. He's not helping you get to the playoffs. You're just going to be at the bottom of the East. They're not trying to win right now. They're trying to start over.
They want to play the lottery game. Boston might want him. He got a good relationship with Tatum.
I think he's going to go there. If he doesn't sign that money, he's going to Boston.
He said that speculation that Kyrie leaked that. Yeah, it is speculation, but I mean, you got to think the report came from somewhere. And when you look at all the parties involved, it only benefits Kyrie to leak it.
Yeah, exactly. For his leverage.
Boston can't get Bill. If Boston get Bill, they got to either get rid of Jason Tatum or Jaylen Brown.
No, not necessarily, because then you would have a big piece, so he would have to.
No, they would have to give up Horford. They would have to give up Horford.
Yeah,
they would definitely give up Horford, but they could make it happen, and they also still have a trade exception from the Gordon Hayward deal. So
I forgot about that. Yeah, they do.
They got enough to make it happen without touching the big. And they would probably use Marcus Smart and Horford if they really wanted to get Bradley Beal. That's what I would do.
I feel like something is in the works for Marcus Smart. I don't want to say I feel like something is in the works.
Would you give up that defense? Would you give up that defense to acquire Bradley Beal?
Well, I don't know. Not with that Celtic team, no. I think that Celtic team is missing a true point guard.
Can Bradley Beal play point?
They don't need a point. They don't need another scorer. They need a. I think the player that they should try to go after is Malcolm Brogdon. They need a point guard. They need a guy that don't need to score a lot, but he can still score.
Yeah, but also Derek White gave us nothing. He gave us good defense. So
you got to understand that Derek White's not a natural point. Because if you look at what the Miami Heat were doing to Derek White, the Miami Heat were just pressing up on Derek White because he's not a really good ball handler, and they were making it really hard for the Boston to run their offense. Derek White's just kind of
good.
He's not a true point guard. He's not a great ball handler.
Yes, it don't seem like that.
Yeah. Derek White gave y'all a lot. That's cap.
Derek White was you know what? When he first came in, he was running point, and he had
running point and doing it at a high level is two different things. You can stick anybody at the point guard spot.
True.
But he was only stuck at the point guard spot because they didn't have no other options.
I think when he came in, I think he came in to facilitate Udoka's playing style. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, this is how I want y'all to play. Yeah.
Hold on. Let me ask you this question. In the Miami series, it started to show. It showed a little in the Milwaukee series as well. When their offense was bad, it was horrible. When their offense was bad, it looked like they couldn't run no sets. They couldn't get calmed down. They took a whole bunch of bad shots out of ISO, and they really got exposed by the Golden State Warriors those last couple of games. That's because they have no point guard. You look at Jason Tatum had 100 turnovers in the playoffs alone.
Yeah.
Right. You got Jaylen Brown. He had. I saw a stat where he had just 20. I think he had more turnovers than like.
You talking about the NBA Finals?
Yeah, but you're right. What you're saying, brother. The lack of trust that they had in Marcus was really telling.
Marcus, what you mean the lack of trust? They had trust in Marcus Smart.
But why were the other guys are handling the ball way too much for having all those turnovers? Like at some point, your coach will say, "Yo, y'all don't touch the ball to the fourth quarter. Y'all don't bring up the ball to the fourth quarter." Marcus brings up the ball.
The thing is, it don't matter.
Like I feel like he's in the works to get traded. That's what I'm trying to say.
It don't matter who bring the ball up.
Even though I wouldn't want it, but
that doesn't make you a good point guard.
Hold on, we got Lakers all day. He says, "Do you think Miami Heat should trade for Kyrie because Lowry wasn't it?"
Pat Riley.
I don't know. I mean, they could. They got the
Not doing
resource.
that, bro.
Miami's trying to
Lowry's
get
getting
Bradley
old.
Beal.
Lowry's getting old. Nets not doing that, bro.
Pat
Miami's
Riley.
Easy
trying to get
low.
Bradley Beal.
No, I'm not saying
Pat Riley
no.
will never
Look,
do
y'all,
that.
he's not saying trade Kyrie for Kyle Lowry. That's not what he's saying. He's just saying, do you guys think the Heat should trade for Kyrie because Kyle Lowry just wasn't that dude? So that means if you look at the Miami Heat, they got players like Duncan Robinson, who was on a $90 million deal. They got the contracts to trade for Kyrie. So it's not like it's not realistic. It is very possible.
Yes, but
To be honest, I'll say
dealing with
no.
Pat
I don't
Riley,
think
you're
Jimmy
not gonna
Butler
do
and
that.
Kyrie will get along together.
you're dealing with Pat Riley. One, he's not gonna do that. Two, Pat Riley is in love with that type of building your team the way you just said earlier, like homegrown. He seems to be in love with that. Besides Butler, and three, he's not gonna because it's Kyrie. He's not gonna be available, and Donovan Mitchell's been looking at Miami too.
Man, he's not going to Miami, bro. He's going to his hometown if he leaves Utah.
What's his hometown?
New York, the Knicks.
Oh,
Isn't that his hometown?
Yeah, he's not that dumb.
Jared, I mean, MD, you just made that up, man. Come on, man. You gotta stop making stuff up.
Well, Boston lost because they try to play the Warriors game. You can't.
I've heard that Knicks rumor though.
That's L. That's L. Man, the Knicks trying to get everybody with their trash ass.
Y'all gotta understand that. You gotta understand, guys are still on their rookie deal, which I don't think Mitchell's still on his rookie deal. He might not be, but
no,
it's
No,
extremely
he's a free
hard.
agent. He's a free agent this season.
Mitchell Robinson?
No, he's talking about Donovan Mitchell.
Oh no, no, he's not. Nah.
Donovan
Wait a
Mitchell
minute.
this is rookie. This is rookie deal.
He probably got 2
You
years.
got Jared trying to get rid of him?
No, they're not.
Nah,
He already signed his extension.
He wants to leave, and Danny Ainge works for them now.
I was about to say, what in the hell did I miss? So Donovan Mitchell finna lead the Jazz. What did I miss? What was I? What happened?
No, what they're saying is Donovan Mitchell was really close with Quinn Snyder, and he didn't like that Quinn Snyder left. So a lot of people are thinking that he's going to want out because he was so close with Quinn Snyder.
Oh, okay. I got
He
it.
said it. Did he not, or was that like speculation? Did he not say it?
I mean, it's just a fear. So I think the Utah just needs to be very cautious about the next coach that they bring in.
Well, Lamont, Hitman X said Mitchell signed an extension after the bubble.
Yeah, Mitchell signed an extension. Mitchell's under contract. So you're going to have to trade him for another guy. You're going to have to go player for player. He's not a free agent or nothing, I don't believe.
Your Nets. The Nets should trade for him. Trade him for Kyrie.
Hold on, let me look. I got his contract right here. Y'all keep saying the Nets. The Nets don't have the cap flexibility to make these crazy trades that y'all talking
Nets
about.
are pissed off because they're gonna have to sit for a little bit.
Yeah, they don't.
So Donovan Mitchell's under contract all the way till the 25-26 year.
Damn.
Yeah, so he would have to request a trade because him and Rudy Gobert are under contract to the same exact year. They're both locked up to 25-26.
Both of them want to leave.
Oh, damn.
Conley is probably the guy that you want to try to move because he was so bad defensively. Bogdanovich, you might want to try to move as well. He's going to have an expiring contract. Jordan Clarkson's on a team favorable deal, so they're probably going to hold on to him. Same thing with Royce Williams. Same thing with Rudy Gay. Also, Nickeil Alexander-Walker that they got late in the season. You want to hold on to him as well. So they got some very, very favorable contracts. But that if they can find a way to get rid of Mike Conley's money, and that's going to be hard because he has 2 years left on his contract, making over $20 million a year. That's going to be a tough one right there.
Damn, is that still a good point guard?
Wait, Lamar, they say something about Mike Conley defense?
Yeah, Mike Conley's defense was horrible.
Yeah,
in the playoffs, no, that was Donovan Mitchell.
No, it was both of them.
Series,
No,
it was attacking Mitchell.
No, it was both of them. I already did the breakdown, MD. It was both of them. I did the whole breakdown.
And that's the reason. And Yellow Mont did do the breakdown. And that's the reason why Rudy Gobert looked like how he looked because he got to pick up their man. Also, while trying to guard his.
Did y'all see the video?
Gobert is not as bad as they make him look to be.
Gobert's not a bad player. The Utah stuff just making him look bad.
Yeah, they don't know how to use him.
I saw it.
But yeah, the Miami Heat can use this help.
Man, also Donovan Mitchell won't fucking pass the ball either. It's another thing.
Shit, would you?
Out there acting like he Michael Jordan or some damn body.
Listen, Donovan Mitchell, he reminds me of Devin Booker without a Chris Paul. He needs a Chris Paul beside him to teach him the lesson of the game.
You don't got shooting skills like Devin Booker.
Hold on, Jared. I can pull my video up, y'all.
I saw the video.
Look, he said Conley's defense was actually very good. Okay, hold on, Jared. See, now look, y'all. He says Gobert. Look, I want y'all to listen to this. He says Gobert's defense was god awful again. He can't move his feet. All right, so while y'all discuss that, I'm gonna pull the video up. I'm gonna watch.
Jared, stop the
because we really about to remember. I told you, Jared is the one that said Draymond Green's offense they couldn't win a championship, and what happened?
They won a championship.
They won a championship. And the man can't make a shot, but he won a championship again 4 times.
Again, 4 times.
All right, hold on. Let me do this right.
Y'all NBA fans only care about points.
A 4-time champion when can't shoot a lick, but a 4-time champion.
but Jared keeps saying he need to get a jump shot.
Man, why are we listening to this kid Jared? He doesn't even know basketball.
You don't have to have a jump shot when you got the greatest shooting backcourt in history.
He said, hold on, Hitman X said Jared's the same goofy who said Tyus Jones was a terrific defender. Yeah, he just be making stuff up. It's starting to sound like.
Yeah.
Hold on, let me. We're gonna go to this video. Utah did not have no perimeter defense. Facts, LBJ fan.
I saw the breakdown of the defense with Rudy Gobert. Because somebody said Rudy Gobert was a trash defender, and that's when Lamont had pulled that video up, and everybody started watching the video, and he broke it down and all that. I saw it. Because they said he just watch
Jared. You got to hit the link, Jared, so we can break the video down with you on the panel, so you can explain this, Jared. Let me drop the link for Jared because I want Jared. I'm gonna play the video slow so Jared can break it down.
You're about to get exposed.
Fucking rebounds part of defense too, dog. I gotta realize that, bro.
No, don't expose him, man. Just leave him. Don't expose him.
Get him up here. No, because he keep trying to tell people. All right, here it is, right here. Burner account says I'm Kevin Durant.
Okay, sell out KD. You're overrated.
So
you're nothing without your daddy, Stephen Curry. He won't without you.
But how would you feel if you're Kevin Durant right now? Like your team just left, they just won a championship without you. And it was just it's crazy.
You saw what Draymond said in 2019. We don't need you. Get the fuck out of here. We won without you. And look what happened again. They won without you again.
If I were Kevin Durant,
he was dumb for going there.
Man, we got swept, Charlie. We got swept, and these niggas won the championship after I left. I'd be talking trash.
Yes, KD's crying right now.
I'd be talking trash.
He's smoking his weed too.
Yeah, Steph Curry standing in the spotlight again.
Yo, not to wish anybody harm or anything, but bro, like those Achilles injuries, bro, they don't last too long after they get repaired, bro.
They rough now.
No, that's not true. The material that they use makes the Achilles stronger than it was before.
Yeah, it might be. Who knows? With new technology nowadays, I don't know.
Well,
when they replace it, it's just about you getting your confidence back. But it's not gonna tear again once you replace it.
Yeah, but Kobe lasted what?
I know Kobe wasn't the same
after she got replaced.
It was over with for Kobe.
We're gonna help Jared out.
That was the Lakers who messed up Kobe.
Because the thing is, like, your body compensates for the thing. So you might.
Yeah, Mikey Tony was paid out for 50 minutes.
Jared, you got to hit the link, Jared.
Now, Clay, what y'all think? Clay towards Achilles, y'all think he gonna bounce back?
Clay don't play like Kobe. Clay just.
Jared, you got to hit the link.
But Clay also was a great defender, though. So it requires lateral movement and all that to be a good defender that Clay was. It requires lateral movement.
Yo, Klay Thompson's making himself look overrated. I don't know why Clay stopped playing off the ball.
Thompson's not overrated.
Bro, Clay is a champion again. I don't know why y'all keep saying overrated with anybody on this Warriors team.
I
won the
didn't off the
championship.
ball.
I did not
I
say
don't know
he
why
was.
Clay wanted the ball Anderson 24/7.
You know why they wanted the ball, and I did a video breakdown
Man,
on
I'm
this as
from
well.
Boston, and all those
If
players
you
are
go,
great.
if you go to Game 5, if you go to Game 5, the game where Steph struggled, well, they were doing two things. They were face guarding Klay Thompson, and they were face guarding Steph Curry. Why they were obviously everybody knows why they were face guarding Steph Curry. He went ballistic, dropped 43. But there was another player who even though he had been struggling, they were so worried about him going off that they were face guarding him in Game 5. And that's why they compromised their defense so much. Everybody was wondering how Wiggins was getting to the basket for these dunks and layups right at the rim. It's because there was no help defense. Tatum and the guys were not helping off the shooters. So just by having Klay on the floor, whether he's making shots or not, just him on the floor is going to help Wiggins score. Draymond had 8 points in the first half of that game. That's unheard of. They were scoring because of the spacing of just having Klay on the floor.
Nah, bro.
The video is already out. The video tells it all.
Yo, brother, hold the Celtics accountable, bro. It was 21 turnovers, bro.
I did. Look, I've already given them their ether for the turnovers. But one thing I said about Game 5,
was, bro. Other than that,
hold on.
No team really blew out nobody.
Hold on, let me finish. What I'm saying is, what got them to the finals was not switching their defense, running a junk defense, face guarding Steph Curry when he doesn't have the ball beyond the 3-point line, beyond half court, all this crazy stuff. What that got them to the finals was a switch in defense where they just relied on their size to keep guys in front and contest. They were so worried about Steph Curry and Klay Thompson that they threw their original defensive game plan in the garbage can, and they started face guarding Steph Curry. And when you look at Wiggins, when he dropped that 26, he was getting to the basket and there was no help. He was scoring one-on-one on guys. The Celtics couldn't help. They couldn't switch. And that's why they had success in Game 5, even though Steph Curry couldn't make a shot. And even in that Game 5, Klay actually got off a little bit.
Brother, but when he dropped, like, what was it, 41, 42? He dropped like 41, 42, right?
He dropped 43 on great defense.
Brother, that still wasn't a blowout. And you
hold on, if you go watch the footage,
hold on.
Steph Curry was making shots on great defense. There was nothing they could do.
Well, are you talking about Game 4?
Amateur hour by the Celtics, bro.
Okay. Explain how it was amateur hour defense when he dropped 43. The video is not going to support.
I know what he's going to say.
No. I'm saying it was real quick. It was amateur hour offense by the Celtics. They shit their pants.
God. Bro, when Steph Curry scores 43, it's not your offense. It's your defense.
My brother, you're talking about fucking the Celtics. The Celtics let Devin Booker shoot for 70 one time, and the Suns still lost.
Bro, we're talking about this year, and it's a different team, different style. A lot of things different.
We're talking about playoffs. We're not talking about regular season, my guy.
You can't turn the ball over, bro. And
we know the turnovers cost them. We know the turnovers cost them, but when you talk about consistency, like you work all year to get to this point. You don't work all year to get to the finals and then to panic in one game, abandon everything that you've been doing defensively because Steph Curry has one good game. What did the Warriors not do after Game 1? The main thing that they didn't do, but they didn't panic and start changing a whole bunch of stuff up. What did Steve Kerr say? We don't need to change anything. We just need to change our effort. We just need to change. That's all they changed. You don't work this hard to get there to change everything up. They ran a junk defense Game 5. And it's compromised them so much so that Wiggins got off.
Brother,
they might win Game 5 if they just play a regular game and they don't start face guarding stuff.
They lost Game 5 on the offensive end.
The Celtics were playing the Warriors, bro, and I don't think the Warriors ever cracked 120 or even 115.
The Celtics played great defense the whole series.
Good defense.
It was the Celtics offense that fell apart.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Well, they didn't play great defense. They didn't play great defense.
Warriors never got 110.
Hold on, they didn't play great defense in Game 6. No, they didn't.
So okay, hold on.
They didn't play great defense Game 1.
Even in Game 6, they played good defense.
Even in Game 6, because we only lost by 13 points, bro.
Hold up.
And Tatum only scored 13 points.
Hold up, y'all cannot base your points based off of counting numbers. Y'all can't just because they didn't They didn't touch above 110. I think 110 points this series. You can't base your premise off of that. You got to understand it's the little things defensively. Like there's a play, and I think it was in Game 6 where you have freaking Grant Williams literally man hugging Kevon Looney in the corner, and Steph Curry gets an easy drive on Al Horford. There was many a times they put Al Horford on an island with Steph Curry, and when he got to the basket, there was no help defense because the person that's supposed to be there is in the corner on a non-shooter. That's not high basketball IQ. It's simple, but you just can't say, oh well, because they didn't score 110 points in every game. It was the offensive.
So 18, an average of 18 turnovers, which are offensive, right? Offensively based,
hold up.
right?
It's
gonna help you, right?
Turning the ball over does have an effect, and they turned the
and
ball over.
And when you turn the ball over, is that offense or defense?
That's offense, but still, even when they didn't turn the ball over, you had bad. Okay. They still had bad IQ plays. You got to understand,
bro.
You got to.
The defense was good enough, man.
It was.
No, it wasn't. The defense was good enough. Yes, it was.
Listen,
the last 3 games they didn't reach 100 points.
Hold on, I can debunk your point. You know the Warriors averaged 15.5 turnovers this series.
Yeah, they weren't that good either.
And they shot 10% below their average against Dallas.
Hold up. I'm about to debunk your point right now. Shit.
They weren't.
Hold on. Let Big Chess finish.
But their turnovers.
I want to hear what Big Chess is saying, y'all. Let Big Chess
hold up.
Finish.
Because this is how this is how y'all know y'all just throwing out. This is how y'all know y'all just throwing out shit.
Brother, I watched the whole series. I'm from Boston.
I don't care. If you want, listen.
Hold on. Let Big Chess finish, y'all.
So
let him finish.
So here's the thing. So game 1, game 1, the Celtics won. They outshot the Warriors. They held the Warriors. They held the Warriors to 42% from 3, 73% from the line.
You can call that game.
They forced more turnovers. They forced more turnovers in that game, and they won that game. Let's go to game 2. They forced 14 turnovers.
Hold on, you gotta call that first game a fluke because we shot out the gym, bro.
Okay, y'all shot out. Okay. So and then I'm gonna go to another game. What's game after game 1? Game 2. Let's say game 2. Okay, if we look at it, okay, they forced the Warriors. They forced the Warriors to 14 turnovers.
How many turnovers did Boston have?
Boston had. Yeah, let them finish.
Boston had 18. Boston had 18 turnovers, and they got blown out. They only had 4 more turnovers than game 2, but they lost by dang near 20.
Okay.
They only.
What was the record? What was Boston's record when they had more than 15 turnovers? They were like 0-9.
They were 3.
They had more than 15 turnovers.
That was the game.
Hold up. They only had 4 more turnovers than the Warriors in game 2, and they got blitzed. They only have 4 more turnovers. They forced 14. They forced 14. The Warriors had 14 turnovers. The Celtics, they turned the ball over 18 times. That's a 4 turnover difference. Usually when you have a difference like that, if you're talking turnovers, it's a close game. But their defense was utterly abysmal. All right? Like they won game. They won game 3. And it was a close, and they were basically tied in turnovers 13-12. So that was a low turnover game. All right. Game 4. The game which y'all was up most of the game. Y'all hold this team to 38% shooting from 3. Y'all turned them over. Y'all had the same amount of turnovers, 16 apiece.
Okay.
16 apiece.
What happened in the last 5 minutes? How many points did Boston score the last 5 minutes?
They scored 5.
3 points.
Great job proving my point.
They scored 3 points the last 5 minutes of the game.
Hold on, but listen, okay, you got this. But okay, let's see. How many aside? But if you look at that last 5 minutes, okay, missed shots, bad shots, okay. It was really no turnovers, it was just missing shots. But defensively, okay, missing assignment. You're not coming. They're playing drop coverage on Steph Curry. They're playing drop coverage on Steph.
You know what? I didn't like that. I was better to keep the switch.
Well, okay. They're doing the same thing. They're putting themselves in position defensively. It's defensive. It's these defensive lapses of why they lost the game. Game 5, Steph Curry gives you a horrible game. Not horrible, inefficient game. All right. They shoot inefficient from 3. All right. And this is the one game where you have the turnover advantage. But here's the thing. Let's see.
How many points did they score in the fourth quarter, Game
You
5?
gotta understand that my
They
star
gave-
player
listen,
averages 27 a game, and he wasn't averaging that series.
They averaged y'all outscored them 35-24 in
In the third quarter. What about the
third
fourth quarter?
In the
What
fourth
happened
quarter,
at the end of the game?
In the fourth quarter, they outscored y'all 29-20. But do you know how many paint points they had? Paint points. They had 15 paint points. 12 of those were uncontested. And I'm gonna say 15 because there was an and one. But 12 of those points, a lot of those points were uncontested. And then the closeout game. All right. Isolation points. Steph Curry, when he was put on Al Horford and there was no defensive help, he shot 87%. After the first 5 shots go in, like if you see this man getting cooked, y'all gotta help him. I can literally pull up film. Like there's
Marcus didn't even stick him like he was supposed to be sticking.
No. It's not even sticking. It's the fact that you put him on a big and you don't help him, and then you have one of your best defenders hugging a non-shooter. Like, why are y'all hugging? Why are y'all hugging Draymond? It's not like Draymond gonna shoot 40% from 3. It is simple as that. The deep turnovers was a big thing, but defensive lapses and key moments was the reason y'all lost this series. Lack of basketball IQ was the reason y'all lost this series. So I don't want to hear you can't just be turnover.
It was bad offense.
It can also because
do you know why I don't want to? The reason why
our turnovers was not forced.
The reason why I don't want to go to offense for the Celtics. The reason why I don't want to go to offense is because, to be honest, their offense had been up and down up until this point. I don't think you guys went into this series hoping that your offense would be stellar every single game. What got the Celtics to this point was great defense. Irregardless of whatever offense you played, everybody was talking about the Boston Celtic defense. This is what got them there. This is what got them those stretches when they couldn't score. This is what got them there. So when you get to this series against the Warriors, and now you all of a sudden, you want to play the Warriors game. You want to try to outscore a team that you don't have the firepower to outscore. You're not going to beat the Warriors by trying to outscore them. You beat them by defending, right? Trying to hold them under their averages, slowing the game down.
They did
into a pace that's controllable. And so
they
they
held
did.
them under their average.
Hold on one second,
he's
y'all.
right. He's right. We switched.
Well, hold on, but you got to understand in the playoffs, especially in the finals, the game's going to get much more slowed down anyway. The problem is they were so worried about Steph Curry, they abandoned the defensive principles that got them there.
Oh, you want to close?
Hold on, we're going to mute him. So when you started, like I pointed out in Game 5 and even in Game 6, right? They went into drop coverage in Games 5 and 6, but instead of the big dropping, they were bringing the big above the 3-point line. So now your defense is compromised. Why? Because with the big not dropping into the paint, guys like Draymond are going to be sitting right into the middle of the floor ready to pick you apart. And when you look at one of those big buckets at the end of Game 5, what happened? They catch Draymond in the middle of the floor. He dumps it off to Looney for a big bucket in the fourth quarter. That's what happened. When you try to compromise your defense, you create holes that you're not prepared to defend because you don't know how to defend them. You don't defend like that. And the Warriors are seeing this type of drop coverage.
Shit was not for us, bro.
No, they couldn't run it. They couldn't run a natural drop because Steph Curry was just pulling up, shooting threes, making them. He was already scoring 30 a game that way. Then they tried to run a more tighter drop coverage where the big would come beyond the 3-point line. Well, Steph Curry was still shooting them, and Draymond was doing a good job of getting to the middle of the floor. And Steph's a great passer. He was getting the ball to Draymond in the middle of the floor. That's lethal because Draymond's a great passer. So they would have been better off sticking to what got them there, which is switching everything, keeping guys in front. But then in Game 6, the Warriors just showed you, well, if you want to go back to switching everything, we're just going to get Horford on Curry in these mismatches. And then we see what happened to Horford. So what they should have essentially did was they should have snatched Horford out the game and played small ball. This is where their weakness lies. They don't have any depth.
Well, from my point of view,
they have zero depth.
From my point of view, Tatum got injured after the Bucks series, and he just tried to stick it through, but it was an annoying injury, and that's it. That was pretty much the difference.
Well, I think the difference was Golden State just
and fucking goddamn turnovers. Goddamn amateur hour. Because there weren't even forced turnovers, bro. Like, if there was forced turnovers, a lot of times I'd be like, okay, all right, Nets. Let's go to State.
Well, their problems stem from what? Not having a true point guard. This is what your offense looks like when you don't have a real point guard on the floor.
Right. I'll give you that.
Tatum was a much improved playmaker. He was averaging what, 7, 8 assists.
Yeah,
he's still not. And when
if
the,
you
when the
notice,
shot
he
clock's
wasn't
running
doing
down,
that. Yeah, but he wasn't doing that step back 3 shit that he do. Like, I don't know, y'all probably don't watch him too much, but that's like pretty much his patent and shit. Like,
he need to get away from that. I ain't gonna be like, because he was taking some bad stuff. He was taking. Listen,
yeah, but when you got your shoulder blade fucked up, it's hard. It's like one of those injuries where like I can go, but it won't.
How tall is this man? Like, if I was him, I'd be operating the mid post. Like,
I don't care if he was healthy or not. I don't care if Tatum was healthy or not.
He played like
Wiggins had the clamps on him, to be honest. Wiggins was just clamping his ass.
Him and Wiggins work out with the same people, so that shit wasn't gonna be good either.
That shit don't matter.
So he needed to be optimal.
Hey, listen,
when they work out with the same person, like in a game where you got a million screens getting set for you, actions and all this stuff, Wiggins was just clamping that man. That's all he was doing.
Blocking that shit.
Yeah, but the dude was missing bunnies, bro. You noticed that shit. He was missing bunnies by himself. Like,
he wasn't missing bunnies by himself.
Missing free throws. Missing.
I was missing free throws. Jaylen Brown was missing free throws.
I saw him miss like 3 layups. Now I can expect Jaylen Brown to miss some free throws, but
if you think offense was their problem, then you're looking at the wrong thing.
Like offense was the problem, man.
Offense was.
If they try to score more points, they lose.
Yeah. If they scored more points, they would have won.
No, here's the problem.
Okay, so what was the rebounds?
So the thing is,
battle.
If you score more, the thing is, here's the thing. They didn't get to the finals because of offense. They got to the finals because of defense. That was their calling card. Their offense was always shaky.
Yeah,
Golden State's just good on both sides of the ball. They have a great offense and a great defense.
That's what Golden State exposed them exposed their offense. Golden State was the first team really to shut them down on the perimeter.
What you mean? No, Golden State had a top 5 defense. They're just a great defense.
But Golden State was the first team that had like the size on the perimeter to really affect Brown and Tatum to cut off their drives.
I mean, outside of Andrew, I'm talking about when they switch. I mean, y'all weren't taking advantage of the
like Golden State put Green on Tatum. They put Wiggins on Brown. They had Thompson. They had Gary Payton. They had Otto Porter. They had a lot of wings,
but they got switches. Hold up, they got switches. Like they weren't taking advantage of when they got switched on the pool. When they had the lineup, when Klay Thompson wasn't on the floor, and it was literally Poole Curry as in the backcourt, and they got those switches on Poole and Curry. They weren't taking advantage of them. They weren't taking advantage of them. They were literally forcing
They tried a lot, but
at the same token, don't they say Golden State won this championship off defense?
They won it off. They won it off defense.
They won it with their defense.
I believe Golden State won with depth.
I don't believe it.
Golden State had more active bodies. Yeah, really, Boston went into this finals with really only maybe
Golden
6 playable guys. Y'all only had 6 guys.
I'm gonna drop it with this. Golden State won it with poise.
Well, they
poise. Just let them
executed better
themselves.
Basically, what Golden State did,
and after game 2, they overimposed their will on them. That's it.
I mean,
what Golden State basically did, they waited for Boston to implode, and then they would make their runs.
Yeah,
because Boston was eventually going to implode.
But you make a team like that implode by forcing them to play in the half court. You don't let what happened in the fourth quarter of game 1? They let the pace get reckless. They were going up and down, up and down, up and down in that fourth quarter. Next thing you know, you get outscored 40-16. Golden State was like, hold on.
You're right.
This team's weaknesses, one of their weaknesses is, one, they turn the ball over. They do turn it over a lot. Mm-hmm. That's a weakness there. We're not going to have their defense could have potentially been an issue, but I told you guys going into this series, what the Warriors do best is the best counter to what Boston does good on defense. If they run a switching defense, the Warriors want split action. Split action is going to beat out switching defenses any day of the week. So they already had an advantage right there. What Boston was naturally great at, Golden State already their regular offense was already prepared to beat that. So they were already at a disadvantage offensively there or defensively there. Even though they're a great defensive team. Offensively, they're never going to outscore Golden State. I don't care how much you improve it. They were never going to outscore. They don't have enough scoring off the bench because they were never going to match Jordan Poole coming off the bench. They were never going to match Otto Porter coming off the bench or some of the guys that actually scored. They were never going to match the firepower the Warriors have in the starting lineup or the bench. So their only hope was to defend crazy and hopefully be in the game.
They didn't need to be like gangbusters offensively. They just needed to be good. They're awful. They were awful on offense.
They would have had to be great for 4 games.
No,
great offense.
They're awful on offense. Like they were really bad. They weren't even like decent.
I mean,
like their offense would just like go out of. They would like go stretches where they score like 3 points in 5 minutes.
Yeah, but go James. They've been doing that all playoffs.
Yeah, but Golden State's gonna make you pay. Like there's a.
So I'm saying they got to the finals doing exactly what you claim is their weakness. So again. They got to the finals on defense.
Yeah, against Miami.
Nah, but you're not giving Tatum his just due.
Bro, they got to Miami with that defense. When you look at Miami, look how discombobbled they look with the ball. We're trying to run plays at the end of a shot clock.
Brother,
it was
Tatum got hurt after that Giannis dunk, bro.
Bro, you got to stop saying Tatum got hurt, man. He was fine. He was out there hooping. Man. Stop saying that.
All right, then he just the moment was too big for him.
It wasn't too big. They just got beat by a better team.
Nah, come on, bro.
The Warriors were a better team.
They were a better team.
Brother, if Rookie Tatum would have been in this finals, right? He would have did better than this Tatum.
They would have lost.
I think Tatum
probably would have lost, but he would have did better.
I think Tatum got tired. Like those long series against Boston.
Of course, hey, you answered your very question. He got tired. He got tired because they don't have any depth. You got 6 playable guys. What you gonna do? Bring Peyton Pritchard in for a breather?
Oh, that's a defensive liability,
bro. But his shooting percentage wasn't good. His shooting percentage wasn't good, brother. Not even in Miami series.
That's because the Warriors don't give up a lot of open shots. Neither does Miami.
If we would have had the Jason Tatum that went against KD, come on, bro. You know,
but you did have him. You did have
that Kyrie. What was his name?
You did have the Jason Tatum.
The Nets don't play any defense.
That's a joke. That's a different team, bro. I don't
that's
know.
That's a joke, dude. They don't play any defense.
I understand, but KD's a good defender, right?
Like he's not as good as he used to be, and plus, I'm talking about the team. The way the Nets defend as a team, they're one of the bottom 10 defenses in the league.
Bottom 5. Bottom 5.
They're horrible
average in that series.
Like if you go back to that Nets series, like Tatum and Brown were just they're just shooting over like guards, like over like 6'2" guards.
How about the Bucks? The Bucks got decent.
Even the Bucks, they're not as big at the wings as the Warriors are. The Warriors got like multiple guys that are like between like 6'6" and 6'9" they can throw at you.
It was so funny that you're saying that the Warriors are bigger now because all I heard during the series was that Boston was too big for Golden State.
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Now y'all flipping it up. Now they took the L. Oh man, y'all gotta stop, man.
I'm not flipping.
Well, they were early in the series. They looked like they had a physical advantage, but then like as soon as like
when y'all was up 2-1, wasn't nobody talking about Golden State was big.
As soon as the series went on,
I don't know, man. It's all offense, bro, because they have equally as much as turnovers as we did.
No, it's not even offense. Hold on,
you can't compare turnovers.
Basketball IQ. Basketball, like no, because you got certain people that like to, because I talk to certain people, they are stat warriors, they're a box score glizzy gladiators. That's all they know. They look at the box score, they look at, well, why do you shoot this? My thing is when you play the brand, when the team plays the Warriors, the first thing on their mind is like, yo, we gotta play smart. We gotta play. We gotta be high intensity mentally and everything. And then the second thing is y'all gonna have to defend because, like Lamont said, there is no way that you're outscoring them. Because I think, and I'm talking about this year. I think next year, Jonathan Kuminga's gonna develop. I think Mookie's gonna develop, and they're gonna have young pieces off the bench that can just run, that can get you buckets.
Hey, do you guys think the Warriors should trade for Gobert?
No.
No.
I mean,
Oh.
no.
I think so.
No.
No. Why? But why?
I would trade for
They're
Gobert.
getting that other
But
young.
why did
They're
they?
gonna get that other young kid back too. What's his name?
But I want
think-
you to
I
know
think-
why. I want you to say we just won a championship as is. Why should they trade for a
like-
guy that's
I
making
don't know,
35, 38 million a year?
They won 73 games and they signed KD, so it's not the question that
No,
they,
I'm
they
just
go
saying.
sign an all-star.
I'm saying, but we see that they've abandoned that formula. Why would they trade for Gobert when they have a very good defense right now, and they could be better next year if Wiseman comes back.
Well,
up.
Gobert is like the best defender in the league, so if you put him and Draymond on the front line, that's like an impenetrable
Yeah, but
wall
when you
right
bring
there.
in that much money, then that means you're going to sacrifice depth. So
Well,
that means
I
you're
mean,
going to be giving up.
they're already paying Wiggins a fortune, so it's not like they have to trade up a whole bunch
No,
of
I'm
pieces
saying
out.
you're going to sacrifice depth. If you trade for Gobert, you're going to
No,
give up a lot of your depth.
I think they got too much depth right now. Like, how you gonna play? How you gonna play the young guys and still play Wiggins? Like, how you gonna play Wiggins and Kuminga and Moody and Poole? Like they right now they got a logjam.
One of those young kids are gonna go because they still got Wayman. What's that kid's name?
Wiseman.
Wiseman. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, even Wiseman. Like you gotta play him over Looney now. Even though Looney's probably their best big going, like it's right now, they gotta play Wiseman over him. So I think that
there's never such thing as too much depth.
If you're trying to develop players, then you gotta find room.
Manny Gober said we overrate the Warriors squad. He says they faced the Celtics, not the world beaters. So he's just basically saying the Celtics was garbage.
I think the Bucks would have beat the Warriors. I think
we were young. We lost that series as soon as Draymond put his foot on what's his name's head. That's they overimposed their will on us. They knew what they can get away with. Well,
I said, just say you mad the Warriors are so deep.
I'm not mad. I'm just saying that they did what they're supposed to do, bro.
They've already said they bringing everybody back,
brother.
Yeah, I think there's too many guys.
I'm a Patriots fan
I think
too.
they bring back too many guys.
I'm a Patriots fan too. So like the way they overimpose themselves, like that was the way you win a chip. That's a very fine-tuned machine, bro.
Remember in what was it, 2019?
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Remember in 2019 when Boston bring back Kyrie and Hayward, and they're touting like all the depth they had and all these scores they had. They had like 6-7 guys that could score the basket.
That's a different situation, bro. Do not
come. I'm saying that at some point you got too many guys that can.
No.
You need to like thin the herd. Like I would rather have one superstar.
Yeah, but you need some dogs.
Like 3 role players.
Brother.
Oh my god!
When the Celtics won in 08, we had like how many dogs?
Y'all don't look. It's not about the reason why that didn't work was because of how Brad Stevens handled the lineups. Not to mention, I mean,
too many guys.
Too, like you said,
it wasn't like listen. There's no such thing as too much depth.
There can be.
No, the problem is you had issues with the lineups, and that was Brad Stevens. Also, you had people that didn't know their role.
Because you had too many guys.
Yeah, we were playing. No. He's right. We were playing an 8-man rotation. He's right.
Hold on. You can listen. The Warriors, their mantra has been strength in numbers. You go back to their 2014 and 2015, the 2014-15 and 2015-2016 teams where they had depth and everything. Everybody on that team knew their role. They were a cohesive unit. That's why they won so many games. So don't compare that drivel that happened in 2018 with this.
No, it's similar.
Hold on, y'all. Somebody says here,
that's the championship.
He says the Warriors can't afford everybody. And hell real, yes, they can.
They can.
Because and the reason why they can afford everybody, one, because they are in Silicon Valley, which the Warriors are the only team in the league that they completely own the stadium. So all of the booth rental fees, all of the profits from the venues, the food venues, the clothing sales, from all of the profits from the vendors outside, all of the profit from the vendors on that block, all that money goes to who? It goes to Golden State. On top of the fact that they just won the finals, so there's the money that you bring in just from being a champion. They went through every round of the playoffs. They probably made just in ticket sales and just by being in the playoffs so many games, they probably were able to get about $20 million around there. All they need to do is find ways to pay the luxury tax without paying it out their own pocket. They're in Silicon Valley. That's not going to be a problem. They don't care about paying a luxury tax As long as Steve Kerr can guarantee that they have a team that's going to go out and compete, they're going to pay whatever luxury tax necessary to put out the best team possible. They're bringing everybody back. I guarantee it.
Yeah, I'm just saying. They would be a better team with Gobert, and they make you get rid of Wiggins and Wiseman, you bring Gobert, and then you make room for Kuminga to actually get all the minutes, so he can develop faster. Because Wiggins right now is in Kuminga's way.
Yeah, but the Warriors not in the business of making dumb moves. Why would you give up young guys to bring in one guy that's making over 30 million?
Prime, you bring him in to team him up with Draymond.
The Warriors didn't win this championship by loading up at the top. They won this championship by having a balanced roster through depth. Why would they kill their depth?
That will kill their depth.
That will kill their depth. Okay, so if you get Rudy Gobert, who do you have to give up to get him?
You give up a Wiseman, Wiggins, probably a couple picks. You probably have to give up Moody.
That's depth in your future.
That's 2 for 1. That's 2 for 1 to solidify your roster now. If you pair Draymond and Gobert on the front line, that's the depth.
Bro, you would be a horrible GM. I'm just gonna say that right now. You would be a
nobody's doing that, bro. Because Wiseman already is still one of the
Wiseman hasn't proven anything. He's still a young guy.
That's the fact. That's one of the reasons why you don't want to trade him.
Yeah, you do. Trade him for a proven commodity.
Trade him for Gobert. Why would you trade him? Imagine this. Because a lot of teams were saying they should have traded Poole after the first year, especially after the second year. They held on. We're gonna develop, and now look at Poole. Why? The Warriors are not in the business of just giving guys up before they see what they can do.
He fits the roster. With Wiseman, you got to wait to see what he is.
Bro, you just won a championship. They're not in the business of making dumb moves.
Hold on.
That'd be a brilliant move. What are you talking about?
That would be a horrible move.
That'll be a horrible move. Hold on.
That'd be on the level of
bro. I'm gonna need
if
you.
If they got Gobert, that'd be on the level of the KD move.
Bro, I'm gonna
know it wouldn't.
Gobert on top of the championship.
It would kill their depth.
It would really.
No, it wouldn't.
And it would kill their versatility.
Hold on. No, wouldn't. They would have to solve everything.
Hold on. Okay, so you're saying they need to give up an elite wing defender and scorer, and also give up a promising big man in Wiseman, who we don't know how good he can be. Okay, for Rudy Gobert, who we know is limited on the offensive end. He's good on the defensive end, but he's extremely limited on the offensive end.
It doesn't matter how
they got here with depth. They got here with guys who can score. They got gears. They got guys. They got so many two-way guys on this team. It's crazy.
And if you got rid of Wiseman and Wiggins, you still have all that. Except you have all that.
Bro, they're not giving up Wiggins. Wiggins is going to be here.
I would say if they want to make a like a that next level move.
That's not a next level move. You're sacrificing your future. Like, listen, the Warriors literally have a 10-year plan. Because I don't know because y'all need to watch.
I guarantee you, Wiseman will never be as good as Gobert is right now. I guarantee it. I guarantee.
No, it's not about Wiseman. You said give up Wiggins
right now.
You said give up Wiggins. That's like see.
You know Wiggins was an all-star starter this year and played like
that. But I'm saying the guy behind him could be even better than he is.
And Wiseman's a top contract. Wiseman's a top 3 pick under a favorable contract where you don't have to pay him much.
Yeah.
No, Wiggins gonna get a near max deal. Wiggins gonna get paid.
Wiggins is gonna get a deserved max deal. You can pay him and you can pay Wiseman, right? Yeah. You can still have a big on the bench. You still got your wing athleticism and Wiggins on the floor. Why give all of that up?
I'll say Gobert had an element that they never had. A true big that could.
I know, but did you lose the element? They lose the element that they never had?
No, right now,
they lose Wiggins. Do you know how big they don't win this championship without Wiggins?
No, Wiggins is what?
But they have a better version of him behind him. That's what I'm saying. Get rid of Wiggins, you bring in Kuminga.
Kuminga still has he's still raw. That's
Kuminga's not Wiggins right now.
He's not Wiggins right. He's still raw.
You develop it right now. You give him Wiggins minutes. He can
that's
develop
not how to listen.
Bro, that'd be a horrible move.
That is horrible. That is beyond idiotic. That is not even. I'm just gonna tell you that is.
You know how good they would be with Gobert, the one element.
So you would sacrifice your future to win.
You know the Warriors had some of the best rim protection in the league without Rudy Gobert. Why did they need him?
You pair Rudy Gobert with Draymond.
But why do you need two? Draymond's already? We already saw how Boston almost exposed. They almost exposed Draymond in games 1 through 3 because of his
Imagine
inefficiencies.
you.
Why are you gonna put two guys like that on the floor at the same time?
No, imagine you have Draymond on the perimeter now. You don't have to have him all the way in the
Bro,
basket.
stop it,
You
bro.
can put him on the perimeter. You got Gobert at the rim. And then you got Curry.
Hold on.
and Poole
First of all,
and
you can't
Klay
have
Thompson
Gobert
on
at the
the offensive
rim.
end.
You can't have Gobert at the rim because it's called defensive 3 seconds. So it don't matter even if you got them both. He can't just stand there and like you're in the 90s and just camp out at the rim.
He's not going to camp out of the room all the time, but he can cover the ground more easily than
why did they?
Utah.
Why are you telling the Warriors to add rim protection when they're one of the best rim protecting teams in the league? Without them,
unbeatable. It serves two purposes. You get a proven big in there and Gobert.
Okay, so you want to lose. So you lose a 20-point per game score to get a guy that. So you lose a 20-point per game score and an elite defender just to bring in a guy that can't score. He's really only good for defending at the rim, and you're already good at defending the rim.
You bring in the best defender in basketball, and you make more room.
No, the best defender in basketball is Draymond Green. It's not Rudy Gobert. Draymond Green's the best defender in basketball.
One A, 1B, whatever. You got the two best defenders in basketball on the same front court. That's unbeatable. So you got the two best front court defenders, and then you got the best offensive backcourt in the league.
Flat that I promise you.
So basically you got the best defense and you get the best offense. You get the best.
Bro, they had the. But hold on, but they had the best defense without him.
Their defense was, go to another level with them.
That was the number 1 defense in the league until Draymond got hurt, and then when he was hurt, they was the number 3 defense in the league.
Thank you. This Gobert take is trash.
It's garbage. I'm like,
Warriors are always out of it.
Hold on, but teams are not in the business of improving upon their strengths. If you have a strength, you don't leave it alone and you work on your weakness.
Your biggest weakness is you're still small. You don't got a true big man.
You literally just went through a whole diatribe and telling us that the Warriors was bigger than the Celtics.
He exposing himself.
They played more physical, but the Celtics were still bigger.
That's
why do you think Robert Williams had the best plus minus to any Celtic? Because his size. He was bigger than everybody. That's why he had the best plus minus to any Celtic.
We've heard size and the Warriors and everything. So the Warriors, they outreach.
Exactly, B. Jones. He trying to sabotage the shit out of Golden State.
Yes.
Come on, they would be unbeatable. Gobert.
He trying to sabotage the shit out of him.
Unbeatable. Gobert.
This dude's talking about putting. Look, I love Draymond, but as a coach, I would not want to put Rudy Gobert and Draymond on the floor.
The same team. That is.
It wouldn't hurt you. It would not hurt you.
Your offense is gonna be above average at best.
You can still surround them with all kinds of shooting to make up for their lack of offense. You got all kinds of shooting, and those are two of the best screeners in the league.
But you playing 4-on-5 on offense.
No, you're not.
Yes, you are.
Plus, all the passes that Donovan Mitchell
so explain to me.
Always open under the rim.
No. Explain to me.
Passing the ball.
The Warriors'
Curry
offense
could get Gobert the ball and make him a better.
Hold on. Go James. The Warriors' offense, they run split action. How do you run split action with Draymond and Rudy Gobert on the floor at the same time? How?
It's easy.
How?
And plus, you can run more of that 4-on-3 action. You got
they run split. They run split actions, and I don't know what a 4-on-3 action is. There's no such thing as that.
That high pick and roll they always run. That's their pep.
No, they run a split action.
Yes, they run those split actions too, but their main play is their
base offense. Their base offense is literally called split. It's split action. It's a split action offense. It's not even screens. They only screen the ball about 17% of the time.
And plus,
less than that most games.
And plus, you got Gobert. You got Gobert as a screener on the perimeter.
But right now, what you're doing
to the rim.
But what you're doing right now is you making stuff up that they don't do, trying to make it seem like that's what they do a lot. They don't do that a lot. They don't screen.
They don't run a lot of off-ball screening.
No, hold on. What they do?
They do run a lot of.
No, they run more DHOs than anybody in the league. It's DHOs is really dribble handoffs. You see Draymond doing that pitch back to Steph all the time. All right, they do a lot of pin downs. Right, but they're not running a lot of screen action.
You can do all that, Rudy Gobert.
No, they do. No, they cannot do that.
So
how?
Listen,
okay. No. But hold on. But go James. I want you to explain
already does.
With
wait.
No. Go James. No. Go because I want to test your knowledge. How do you run split action with 2 non-scoring bigs on the floor? Please explain that.
They already start Looney and Draymond already.
Please tell me how you would. No, Looney can score. Looney can score the ball.
What? More
Looney's
than
a much
Gobert?
better scorer
He's
than
a better
Rudy
scorer
Gobert.
than Gobert?
Yes.
Oh, come on. You guys are out of it.
Gobert.
You guys are out of it. They already played 2 non-scoring bigs on the court already.
No,
and they
hold
still
on.
run all their actions.
Okay, so how are you gonna say he's a non-scoring big when we watched him in the Memphis series completely destroy Memphis offensively with his offensive rebounding and scoring at the rim?
Yes, Gobert's a better rebounder than Looney.
When he needs to score, he scores. When he needs to score, he scores. Now, I just want you to tell me. You're still avoiding the question. How do you run split action with Gobert? Please explain that.
The same way they do it now.
Explain it.
Explain.
The same way they run it with Looney.
Okay, how did they run it with Looney?
Huh? He's away. He's on the weak side, away from the play. And when
how do you run split action with Looney?
Huh? They don't run split action with Looney. They run with Draymond.
Oh my god!
Again. So why are you trying to involve Gobert in something?
Hey, why don't you just say you don't know what split action is? You don't know what the hell they do.
No. Why are you trying to involve Gobert in something he doesn't do?
You the one that brought up Gobert, bro.
He's trying to make Gobert to Draymond or something.
I'll be honest. I don't know what a split action is.
Thank you.
Bro, I'm just saying it won't work like this. If y'all think with this Celtic team is the only team that came close to really figuring out how did you handicap these split actions. And what they did was, if you watch the games where they lost, where the Golden State lost, they abandoned guarding Draymond Green. And this is when people kept coming out. Remember that? Remember when they were down 2-1 and people kept saying Draymond Green is trash, 2 points. He can't score. He can't do this. That's because they were forcing Draymond. They were forcing the ball back to Draymond, and they were simply sitting on everybody else. I thought that was a great defensive strategy. And then they abandoned that strategy because Steph Curry went ballistic game 4. If they would have stuck with that strategy, that's the defense that they were having the most success with.
They abandoned it because Golden State wasn't running it as much. They started running that high pick and roll.
I mean, the strategy is always key.
They started running the high pick and roll.
No, they didn't because Steph Curry, if you watch game 4, they were running the same defense. Steph Curry was just saying, fuck it, I'm not going to pass it to Draymond. I'm going to shoot a contested 3 on 2-3 people, and he was making them bitches.
Yeah, they kept spamming that high pick and roll.
It wasn't a high pick and roll.
Yes, they had the screen away beyond the 3-point line in that third quarter.
He had like 2 of them like that. He didn't have all of them like that.
Where they had the screen away above the 3-point line. And they're running that Jordan
It wasn't until game 5. It wasn't until game 5 where they started bringing Marcus Smart to pick Steph Curry up before he got to the half court line. So what you're talking about is after he hit him with the 43.
Right.
That's when they abandon what they do, and that's when they start getting cooked even more because they were stretching their defense out too thin. I'm talking about before.
You either had to do switch or play man.
No, well, what they did was they were doing was they would blitz the ball anytime Draymond screened, and they would say, "We're gonna let Draymond get the ball," and they say, "You got to go score this bitch," because we ain't gonna let nobody else score this bitch. And they abandoned it because of one game.
And guess when Draymond started playing better? His offensive game.
Draymond Green didn't start playing better until Draymond
5 and 6.
Draymond Green had his best game in game 5. And when did he have his best game?
6.
Hold on. Listen, he had good games game 5 and 6, but game 5 when he had 8 points in the first quarter. How did he get those 8 points? Because they were face guarding Steph and Marcus Smart and Jason Tatum, who normally help on drives from Wiggins and from other guys. They couldn't go help because they're sitting there face guarding. So Wiggins is having layups at the rim, just like Big Chest told you. How many points did they have in the paint? They had so many uncontested layups in game 5, not from Steph, but from Wiggins. Even Draymond got a wide open dunk at the rim. Crazy how Steph Curry affects your whole defense like that. That's called the Steph Curry effect.
Yeah.
Made y'all switch up your whole little defensive thing. And then y'all got cooked even more because y'all switched up.
With Gobert, you have the Steph Curry effect and the Rudy Gobert effect.
Bro, man.
You have offense.
Bro, Rudy Gobert. Rudy Gobert couldn't even save the Utah Jazz with his defense.
Well, you already did you already do a breakdown on why that was?
Yeah.
The Jazz are so terrible on perimeter defending.
Yeah, but the thing is, I'm not adding. Why
would I
add Rudy Gobert to a team that struggles with rim protection? You don't add it to a team that's already the best in the league at rim protection.
No, they're not the best in the league in rim protection.
They're not. Name a better. Hold on. I'll pull it up for you right here. Hold on. I'll pull it up.
They should be top 3. Like, good lord.
The Warriors are like 1 or 2. Something ridiculous.
They're 2. I just looked it up. They're number 2, and it's not in number 1.
Okay, so for rim protection alone, it's the Bucks are number 1. Golden State Warriors are number 2. For rim protection alone, even with Rudy Gobert, they're 8th in the league. You don't need a Rudy Gobert to have the best rim protection. You need good defenders.
Well, they have the two best defenders. they got Gobert.
Hey, yo, bro,
you have the 2 best defenders. And you have those 3
bro. This is what I want you to do. I want you to videotape it. I want you to make that trade happen on 2K and simulate a whole season and tell me how it goes.
Yeah, you'll be unbeatable.
You wouldn't be. You would be very beatable.
Oh no, that's like unbeatable. I'm taking. That's 40. That's 44 and 38 at best.
No. That's
telling you, the Warriors won this by having depth. They're not gonna trade. They're not gonna trade a key piece that helped them win a championship because they want to go get Rudy Gobert. Nobody
Gobert.
Yo, Lamont, but they are listen. They already did an interview with Steph and the ownership. Like, what's his name? The GM Bob Myers. He already said the future. He wants the future to be Jordan Poole, Jonathan Kuminga, Moses Moody, and Wiseman. He wants that to be the future core.
I'll tell you, I heard Steph never gonna happen.
Yeah, Steph said that too.
That's never gonna happen. I guarantee.
Steph said his plan over the next 5 years is to turn Kuminga into defensive player of the year, Poole into like an all-star,
premium all-star,
somebody else into an MVP. Something crazy.
Like he said, and then they said about Moody. They want Moody to be all defense too. And I'm like, I think Moody's 19, Kuminga's 19, Poole is 22, and Wiseman is 21. So
that sounds good on paper. That really
no.
That sounds good now.
But they're in an organization that develops
championship. That's championship hangover.
No. That's not championship hangover.
Yes, that's championship.
There's a reason why they drafted these players because
that's championship euphoria. They won the championship, so now they think anything is possible. Like they're gonna do this. They're gonna.
No, you think anything is possible? You want to trade for Rudy Gobert?
I'm saying trade guys for proven quantities right now to maximize what you have right now.
They already
maximize Steph, maximize Clay, maximize Draymond. The championship windows now. It's not.
They just won a championship.
They're going to turn these guys into the next. That never happens.
They just won a championship without. They beat your team. They beat the Celtics without all of this extra stuff.
That's nice. I'm saying improve what you got right now. Don't try to turn these guys into your next version.
You acting like you dealing with young players that ain't promising. All the young players on this roster are highly sought after by other teams because they have a lot of promise. Everybody wants Wiseman. Everybody wants Kuminga. Everybody wants a Moody. Everybody wants Jordan Poole. But yet you say trade these guys.
Everybody's enamored with the young talent. So trade one or two of them to get another proven star to go with the stars you already have.
Horrible playing,
bro. Like so developing them is not an option. You don't want them. And the Warriors, one of the best organizations in developing players. So listen, you saw Jordan Poole in his rookie year.
Nice.
He's taking crazy shots and everything. Yeah. You saw him go to the G League last year. Come back on strong at the end of the year. Start the year off when Clay was out. He was averaging 19 points a game. He was shooting the ball like crazy. He led the NBA in free throw shooting.
That's nice. Take Poole, Kuminga. You keep them. You trade all the other guys away. Moody, get him out of there. Bring Gobert. Get Wiggins out of there. So Kuminga can get his minutes.
Listen, you're either three things. You're either smoking or something. You're either crazy. Oh my God! You're just trolling.
You already got one of the proven guys. Keep him. Dude, Wiseman's never going to be as good as Gobert is. I'm sorry. He's just
that philosophy of trying to give away your young players does no longer work. You're only going to win
right now.
You're only going to win right now with young players.
You can go 3 straight. If you get Gobert in there, you can win another 2.
When has Gobert proven that he can be on a team that can go deep in the
When is
playoffs?
Wiggins? When is Wiggins?
When?
Come on,
When has he
stop
proven?
it. Stop
Hold
it.
on, hold on. But you know what? But you know what though?
Wiggins was a
But
bust.
hold on, hold
Got to Golden State.
on, hold on.
Wiggins
Go, James.
wasn't necessarily.
Hold on, y'all. Wiggins proved when Wiggins was given the opportunity this year, he proved it. So now that means he's here to stay. He just proved it. I don't need to give him up because he just literally proved he's a championship caliber player because he wasn't just on the team. He was one of the main reasons why they won. He's a champ now.
Before, right? Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. So why give up something that's proven? You want to give up Wiggins because to get Gobert, you would have to give up Wiggins. Not only would you have to do a sign and trade because you would have to sign Wiggins long term, which means since the Warriors are already over the cap, they would have to sign and trade him, which would also hard cap them, which would prevent them from re-signing guys like Bielika or even Otto Porter, things like that. So you would further kill your depth because you would hard cap yourself. You cannot sign Bielika. You can't sign Porter. You won't be able to bring Iguodala back if you wanted to. You would completely handicap your depth. It don't matter though. So essentially, by bringing in Gobert, you would lose about 5 players because you would hard cap yourself. So it makes no sense.
They wouldn't hard cap themselves.
Tell me how they wouldn't hard cap themselves. Okay, how?
And in a sided trade, the team that gets that trades for the signed player, that's the team that gets hard cap. So say Golden State signed Wiggins and trade him to Utah, it'll be Utah that'll be hard cap.
Okay, how much are they over the cap?
Contract.
How much are they over the luxury tax?
Because
if you're receiving a player and if you're over the luxury tax, you will also be hard capped.
No, you wouldn't be hard capped if you're over the luxury tax. You trading salary for salary. You only hard capped in 2 situations, and one of them is you receive the player that got signed. So whoever received Wiggins,
you've been reading too many Laker You've been reading too many Laker. You've been reading too many Laker memorandums or wherever you get your information from. That's not true at all.
No,
getting hard cap has to do with your salary cap situation.
No, I think there's only 2 triggers for the hard cap. One of them is receiving the player.
They would put themselves in a situation where they would lose Bielika. They would definitely lose Bielika, who was vital for them in certain situations. They would definitely lose Otto Porter Jr. They still have to resign Gary Payton, so they would have to find space to sign him, which is going to be extremely hard.
They would still have.
So what you're saying, right? Because the first player they're going to have to sign is going to be Gary Payton. He's got to be the first player that you sign because of his cap.
They can sign everybody.
They can. Everybody. You can sign everybody, but the timing of when you sign them is key.
They're probably not signing him.
They're going to sign him.
They're gonna re-sign Gary Payton, but the timing of when you sign him is also key too.
Yeah. So because okay, go James. Do you know how much over the cap the Warriors are right now?
And they're gonna sign.
I know they're paying almost like what 350 or over 350 in salary cap plus the luxury tax.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
But I'm saying Gobert's already under contract.
I mean,
so
no,
they're not have to stand for anything.
Okay. So they're
just switching salary for salary. They're gonna have the same salary no matter what.
Listen, they're 88. They're 88. They're gonna be when the league year begins in a couple weeks. When a new league year begins, they're gonna be 88 million over the salary cap. They're gonna be
probably more than that.
Right? Yeah, probably more than that. That's just a rough estimate if you do the math. I think if you had contracts, Wiggins, Poole. Okay, yeah, if you had those contracts, that's gonna be about 105 million over the cap. So if you trade for, let's do a hypothetical sign and trade for Rudy Gobert, that's a major cap hit. And what that does, what people don't understand, Rudy Gobert is gonna take a good, I think, 30% of that cap. So you're losing, like he said, you're losing Wiggins, you're losing Bielitsa, you're losing Iguodala, you're losing Otto Porter, aka Wilt Chamberlain Jr.
No, it's not. You're adding. It's the same hit under the cap.
No.
It's the same hit.
It's not the same hit. No,
it's the same hit.
No. Okay.
For hold on.
Hold on, we'll just go to trade. We'll
if you're
just go
over
to
the cap,
trade. We'll go to trade.net. We'll see if it works there. We can just do the trade. We'll show you, and then it'll tell you exactly what to trade, how to trade will handicap both teams. Hold on, let me pull it up right here.
yeah, for over the cap teams, you got to match salaries. So however they do it, they have to match salaries outgoing to match the salary of Gobert.
Okay, but
so that's why you're matching with a salary like Wiggins.
Basically, you want to do this trade because you think it would make the Warriors a better basketball team.
I'm saying it would open the window for winning now.
Now, hold on. Now, we talk about offense. How does it improve their offense? Let's start there.
Gobert, I don't think it would hurt that offense that much at all.
No. Let's talk about how. Remember, if you're gonna make this trade, if you're gonna sacrifice your young talent, you got to be able to tell me how this improves the offense. You can't just make us the same. How does it improve the offense?
The offense. I think Gobert will add a dimension as a roller that they really don't have right now, because Gobert's being underutilized in that role position when he sets the high screen. Like Steph could really benefit Gobert's offense. So I think being on the Warriors will benefit Gobert. He'll make him a much better offensive player.
So we're going to pay $30 million for a roller?
No, you're paying that money. You're paying the $40 million for the best defensive big man in basketball. That's why you paid it. You'll make you
when we go to defense. Now, when we go to defense,
you'll be the best defense.
Okay, hold on. Now, when we go to defense, we're already talking about a Golden State Warriors team that's generally top 3 in the NBA in defense anyway. Without them, how do you convince the owner of this team we want to get better defensively? We want to improve the best defense in the league.
Okay,
how do you explain to him the defensively how it makes them better? Because hold on one second. As we've seen today, having a big man defensively can also handicap you, primarily because the big man lack the versatility. This is why Draymond Green is so important. He's a 6'6" who can move and defend all positions. That's what really makes that defense. Adding in, and then even Looney has proven that he can defend outside of the.
He's not Rudy Gobert at the rim.
Okay, but why do they need rim protection when they're number 2 in the league in rim protection?
I'm saying you can make Draymond even a more versatile defender. You
Why
don't have to have him at the rim so much.
Of the Warriors, tell me why we need more rim protection when we're already number 2 in NBA in rim protection.
Because this is next level. You want to be an all-time great defensive front court.
Okay, so we're going to marginally. So you're basically telling
Duncan and Robinson.
So you're basically telling me we're going to marginally improve the defense, make it a little bit. We'll go from 2 to 1.
You'll be the best defensive basketball.
Hold on. So the marginal improvement, because you're only going to go at most, maybe you might go from the number 2 defense to number 1, which they are usually number 1 anyway. And so you're going to have a marginal improvement defensively, and it's not going to impact you at all offensively.
They're 1 this year, and I'm saying, what you lose with Wiggins will be marginalized with the emergence of Kuminga.
Okay, so how do you make hold on? How can you ensure me that Kuminga is going to turn into a guy that struggled to score 10 feet outside of the basket? How are you going to tell me that he's going to improve to the degree of a Wiggins, who was a 20-point per game all-star starter and great on both sides of the floor?
Again, you don't really need Wiggins scoring. You already got Jordan Poole. So
they needed every bucket in that game 5. Hold on, in that game 5, they needed all 26 of those points. Then that game 5, they needed all 15 of those rebounds. In that game 4, they needed all 17 of those rebounds.
Good for Wiggins. He's a nice player. You get the best defensive big man in the game, and whatever
makes no sense,
you lose Wiggins, you can make up with the guys you have behind him. That's the point. You don't lose much.
But what guys are you going to have? Because you got to remember,
not that important. It's not.
The Warriors have to re-sign so many guys by bringing in Rudy Gobert. That's going to inhibit your ability to sign some of these guys.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not. You sign everybody.
Let me.
You're trading salary for salary.
Listen, you gotta
do a sign and trade. That's what really throws a monkey wrench in it.
No, it won't hard cap.
Because they're not going to take Wiggins with 1 year left on his contract.
A sign and trade would hard cap the Jazz if they took Wiggins in the sign and trade. They would be hard capped.
I mean,
the Warriors would be hard capped.
It only will affect the other team if they are soft capped.
I know, man. It's crazy. I'm gonna need.
The Warriors are too far into the luxury tax.
There.
Yo, listen. Only one of them is
Again.
gonna leave. Either Gobert's gonna leave or Donovan. And I don't
No,
know.
he's basically saying the addition of Gobert.
I don't know where they're gonna go.
The Golden State. The
I don't
addition
think
of Gobert to
Golden
Golden State would hurt them.
Yeah, I'll say
Nah, I
Gobert.
wouldn't
I'll
go
say
to
Golden
Golden
State should trade for Gobert. Make a bold move.
So you would
don't rest on your laurels.
You're gonna sacrifice
The
15.
hell
You're
with
gonna
James
sacrifice
Wiseman.
15% of
Wiseman
your
never needs to get his
offensive
Gobert.
output.
That's what I'm saying.
Andrew Wiggins this year provided 15% of their offensive output. You're gonna
Andrew
sacrifice.
Wiggins, he's a nice player. He's a nice player.
Hold
That's all.
on.
He's a nice player. You can make
Hold
up for his loss.
Listen, I'm gonna give you this. You're gonna sacrifice 15% of your offense for what, like a 3% improvement on defense? That is idiotic. Let me talk, bro. That is the most idiotic thing I ever heard of. First,
Dude,
and then you're gonna put
Wiggins
your
is like the fourth or fifth offensive option. He's not even one of your top 3 offensive options.
Are you
what
crazy?
Are you talking about?
Yo, go ahead.
He's like the fourth dude.
Hold on, did this dude just watch the NBA Finals?
He did not watch the NBA Finals.
He's like the fourth. He's like the fourth dude.
I don't know about
Only
the season, but in the finals, he was
the only reason he gets the points because teams basically
he was the second dude in the
employ
finals.
the Harrison Barnes
Bro,
strategy
you gotta stop.
Andrew Wiggins. They treat him like Harrison Barnes.
He ain't
They say,
Harrison
we're
Barnes.
we're never gonna W. We're gonna let
Yo,
you
bro,
play
you
one
gotta
on one
switch
and do
the
whatever
tone,
you
bro.
want. We'd rather you score the basketball than
I don't know what
Steph, Clay.
You gotta watch the game on
That's why he can score so easily because teams don't game plan for the dude. If he's such a great player, why don't teams game plan for him? If he's such a great offensive weapon, he's a nice player. I'm not saying he can help Utah. Utah can really use somebody like Wiggins because basically they have no perimeter defenders. I'm just saying the Gobert were added dimension that they never had.
The thing is
You
that Wiggins
pair
get
him with
out of his
Draymond Green. You got it. You got.
Okay, hold on. I think this is what you're not considering right here. The Warriors have shown with their young players so far, at least when those young players are healthy, they do a good job of developing their own young players, enough so that where you can trust these guys in the playoffs. So for you because Wiseman's been injured so much, they haven't had the on-court ability to develop him the way they want. I think the Warriors, and I believe this as well, if you look at how James Wiseman came into the league, he came into the NBA during the year where they started the season up early, so they didn't have any summer league. They didn't have any training camp or anything like that. So he literally went from playing a few college games against some community colleges, high school before that, and he's thrown right into NBA action with little to no preparation. He doesn't look ready. He wasn't adjusted to the physicality of the game. And so the Wiggins that you saw was a Wiggins that had no time to prepare for the NBA. And he also has some knee issues. Now that he's going to be fully healthy with all of the potential that he has, because out of all the young players they have, Wiseman has the most potential out of all the young players that they have.
Lamont, that is an excellent sales pitch. You get
no, it's not an excellent sales pitch.
It's not a sales pitch.
So what I'm saying is what you capping on.
Wiggins is a late bloomer. He's not.
What I'm saying is it's not that he's a late bloomer. He's extremely young. Yeah, well, it's not. What I'm saying is Wiseman is extremely young.
Oh,
Wiseman has probably the highest ceiling of all the young players on that team.
Yeah, Wiseman.
And the thing is, the Warriors are not in the business of giving up their young talent before they give them an opportunity to showcase it on the floor. That's all it is. And the thing is, getting Rudy Gobert doesn't make them that much better because they have to sacrifice not only two players. They would probably have to sacrifice Wiggins and Wiseman. But they would make it extremely difficult for them to re-sign the guys on the bench that gave them depth. Porter was invaluable this year. Bielika, especially when guys were injured, was invaluable this year. I mean, so what do? You compromise what won you a chip just to bring in a guy that's going to be a big question mark?
No,
I don't understand. I don't understand.
Be a big question mark.
And your offense would significantly be worse because you couldn't run any split.
No, it wouldn't.
Okay, I want you to tell me with essentially with a non-scoring big like Rudy Gobert, how do you run split action with him on the floor? Because when you're running split action, he can't run in for lobs all the time.
He's not a non-scoring big. I'll put it this way.
Okay, so when you're running split action,
an element that Looney does not bring.
But when you're running split, you said on offense you would use him to roll. But when you're running split action, the bigs can't just go roll and dive at the rim for lobs.
No, I'm saying you can have that split action, but with Gobert, you can run that high screen and roll and use them as a roll.
Okay,
man.
but when they run, high screen and roll is separate from the split action that they run. They
Yeah,
only
I'm saying-
screen. They only run high. They only started running that high screen and roll in Game 5 when they started face guarding Curry beyond the 3-point line. So let's not act. They only doing that to get these guys off Steph Curry. That's it. That's it. So let's not act like. Let's not. First of all, high screen and roll is an action.
Face guard, that face guarding shit was overrated.
Hold on. The high screen and roll is not a play. The high screen and roll is not a set. It's basically an action out of an offensive set. So out of the high screen and roll, what actions, what sets were they running? Because it's not called high screen and roll. I mean, you can high screen and roll at any time in any particular set. So it makes no sense just to say high screen and roll when you essentially can do that in almost every set you run. It won't work if the big doesn't have the offensive skill set that they need. But like I said, I mean, if you don't, so basically, not only would they have to bring him in, they would have to redo and rechange their entire offense.
No, you have the same roster. You resign all your players.
How?
But you trade Wiggins' salary for Gobert. It's a salary swap. That's all it is. You're not hard cap. You can resign all your guys. You just salary swap Wiggins for Gobert, and you throw Wiseman in as like the sweetener to
Yo,
the
brother,
deal.
you don't understand how their offense works. Like their offense is mad complicated, brother. Like it's top heavy on the bigs, like mentally. Like those bigs gotta be really good passers, bro. And they gotta be high in the rebound category, bro.
Yeah, Gobert does all that.
He rebounds, but I'm like, when it comes to passing, he kind of like Darko Milicic when it comes to passing, but that's just me.
Yeah,
but,
probably little short, like bounce passes here and there.
But like, and the thing is, at the end of the day, I don't think even then, but you're just sacrificing. Like I promise you.
Okay, so I just tried to initiate the trade. So it says because the Warriors use more than the taxpayer portion of the mid-level exception, right? And that started at 5.8 million. Because they used that for the last 2 years, they will face a hard cap for the remainder of the 22-23 season in this particular trade scenario. So it says they would become hard cap because they cannot exceed something called a tax apron at any point in time during the rest of that league year, which they would if they made this particular trade. So if they made this trade, they would be hard capped. Which, if they were hard capped in this trade, because they said they would use more than the taxpayer portion of the mid-level exception. Because of that, they couldn't bring back Porter or Bielika. It would be extremely tough to sign Gary Payton, and you would essentially kill your depth, and you would also lose Wiseman and Wiggins. And you lose all of that just to bring in Rudy Gobert.
Oh, fuck that. And he potentially might sign next year. What the fuck? Nah, fuck that.
So, is it worth it? I don't think it's worth it. I think now that when you got guys like Porter, who a lot of people had dished Porter off to the side and didn't want to give him a chance, he may give you a team discount for the loyalty factor. We saw Bobby Portis do that with the Bucks, right? Some of these guys might stick around just because of the loyalty factor. So, I mean, you also got to use that if your organization to your advantage. How many guys want to stick around because it's a winning franchise? He says no Clippers, no Warriors, no Memphis, and maybe Denver. Manny Gober says too much Giannis cap from Jared and Gianna. Jared's still talking in the chat. Is it? I don't even know if that's the real Wheezy Bang.
I think Miami's going to do very well in the offseason.
They got decisions to make because they're going to have to figure out what they want to do with Oladipo. Oladipo's going to want to get paid by somebody now that he's going to be fully healthy. He's not going to do a minimum deal again. They got to figure out what they want to do with Duncan Robinson. If they paid him a lot of money, you can't have that much money just sitting on the bench doing nothing.
Yeah, he's gonna leave. He feels really insulted. I've seen some.
I mean, it's not up to him. It's that he has to get traded. He's under contract. So
He got
and
a
he's
year?
just, I thought he signed longer. He just signed to I think 4 or 5 years. You think he signed this extension?
Damn. Shit.
Yeah, he signed a $90 million extension, so he's locked in.
He's pissed.
He says the Heat will find some way to get older next year. I don't know what the Heat will do. It's hard to say.
It's always a good
what they
destination,
will.
bro. It's always a good destination, and Pat Riley always trying to win. I think they showed a lot of heart in the offseason and the playoffs.
T Streets. I think Julius Randle's going to get traded, from what I hear.
Julius Randle. Where's Julius now?
New York. I don't know if it's true. I think some of the aspects of the deal that I heard are starting to fall apart because the Knicks don't want to act right. But I know Phoenix was trying to get Julius Randle.
It's gonna be interesting what the Knicks do. They were on the verge.
Who?
The Knicks.
Shit, they declined significantly last year. Man, they looked horrible.
They look.
What talent? I mean, I don't know. They don't need a complete revamp. Is what I'm trying to say. Got some promising stars.
I mean, they don't have a star. I mean, they need some star power over there. They have no stars. They got a whole bunch of
role players,
blue collar, hard workers.
Some good kids, some wholesome young kids.
Not gonna win like that. They lost to Trae Young because they lost the star power.
Hey, that's another destination, Atlanta. What do you think they're gonna do?
Well, they're getting rid of John Collins. I believe he might be on his way to Portland. Portland wants to give up that draft pick. A lot of teams want to get out of this draft. They think this draft is weak. So a lot of teams are trying to. So Lakers might have an opportunity to get into this draft because so many teams are going to be selling their picks. So I know the Lakers were wanting the Sharif O'Neal. I don't know why.
Why?
Yeah, I don't know.
Do you think this draft is good?
I think the top of the draft is really good.
Yeah.
Where the fuck Sharif was playing now?
He was at LSU. Averaged 2 points a game.
God,
I ain't gonna lie. I think I was worried. I was just worried about his health. That was really my big concern. You know, because he had the heart surgery a couple years ago. So.
Oh yeah, don't never want to touch that sometimes.
Yeah. So I was like, man,
let me see top 10 prospects.
What, he still compete athletically at school?
No, he was at the G League. What's it called? The draft thing.
So I think to me the best players in this draft, I think the most NBA ready player is going to be Jabari Smith.
Yeah.
I think he can go right out the gate. That was probably my say right now. I think Paolo Banchero's the second best. Jaden Ivey to me is the third best. Fourth best to me is going to be Shadei and Sharp.
Shaden
Ducky, I think. Yeah, I think he's the fourth best player in this draft to me. Chet Holmgren is an interesting player because I think he's a project, but I think he could be really good. But I think Chet might fall. I think Chet could potentially fall to 5 or 6. Because I don't know. I don't know if he's ready.
I don't think he's ready. I don't know if he's physically ready. I think he has the skills and the talent, and I don't. Because like right now, now dude that I think that you could put in a role, is Ochai Abaji out of Kansas. I think he's like he can be like that. I think he can be a 3-and-D guy. He's a 6'6" shooting guard.
Oh, let me see if I can find him on here. What's his name? Oh yeah, down here I see him.
Ochai Abaji.
Oh yeah, I seen him. Yeah, he's nice.
That boy can play.
Yeah, he's out of Kansas. Yeah, the light.
He can shoot. He can shoot the shit out.
Yeah, he's the one that saved them in the championship game.
Yeah, he can shoot the shit out the ball, man. Another dude I like. Another dude that I think is underrated. This dude out of Ohio State, EJ Liddell. He reminds me of he's like a smaller LaMarcus Aldridge. That's what his game reminds me of. But he's a 6. I mean, he don't look 6. He look like he built like Draymond, but he can shoot. But he literally his body built like Draymond.
I've seen Liddell play. EJ Liddell is good. He's not a bad player. EJ Liddell, wasn't he playing in the Drew League?
Yeah, he was playing in the Drew League.
He was balling though, wasn't he?
Just busted. He was busting people.
He's on the big baller team, ain't he?
Yeah, he's on the big baller team. I want you. What do you think about Jalen Duran out of Memphis?
I didn't like any of the Memphis players. I'm not gonna lie.
I mean,
I don't know if it's because of Hardaway's team was self-destructing from the internally, but I didn't think any of the Memphis players were ready to go.
Yeah. They saying I'm looking on my mock chart. They saying I don't know who got the echo, but they saying I'm looking at Johnny Davis out of Wisconsin. They saying he's projected to go to either the Nuggets or the Spurs.
I'm gonna see some other guys that I like. I know Jaden Ivey. Obviously, he's like my favorite player in this draft because of the Purdue connection. But I like him. I think he's probably the second most NBA ready guy. Paolo Banchero's is just gonna be good regardless of where he goes.
Yeah.
I'm trying to see who else we got in here. Are there any sleepers in here? I got my bust for this one though.
Who's your bust?
Dalen Terry's gonna be a bust.
Where is he projected?
Out of Arizona. They got him projected at 30 in the first round. They got him going at the a lot of teams are looking. You know what? If you put him on a good team, I think he could do something. But
actually, what side are you on? Because I'm on CBS. They don't got him in the first round.
Whenever I've played against a guy in an open run, and when you don't wow me in an open run, I don't know, there's certain players when you play with them in an open run, they just look different. Like when I ran with Corey Kispert and them. He's just unstoppable. I don't care how good of a defense you play. Yeah. When I ran with Dalen Terry and them, he was very stoppable. And I was scoring too easy.
Yeah. Because the one dude I saw recently at an open run, Kennedy Chandler, he's projected to go in the mid-20s out of Tennessee. 6'1" point guard. He's 6'1", but he's strong, man. He's strong. He got a quick handle. I think that's a sleeper. And then this dude out of Serbia, Nikola Jovic.
Yeah, I've seen him. I haven't seen him play though.
Yeah.
I think Mark Williams is gonna be a bust too. Out of Duke.
Yeah. What do you think about Christian Coloco out of Arizona?
No.
I don't like any of the Arizona players. Like Memphis, I just don't trust them, man.
What about Mathurin?
Yeah.
Benedict Mathurin. Benedict.
I didn't see him. I didn't see him enough.
He's pretty good.
He nice. He nice. What about this dude out of Kentucky, Ty Washington?
No, Ty Washington is nice.
Yeah, he nice. It's I don't know who is this dude, Walker Kessler. I never heard of it. He's
a center. He's a center at Auburn.
I mean, I watch Auburn, bro. I'm SEC.
He's a big white dude.
Yeah, I watch SEC. Yeah,
he's 7'3" or something.
Yeah, he's still 7'2", but I mean, I never noticed him. He moving on this draft board. He went from I know he top 15. Let's see, Patrick Baldwin Jr. That's another Wisconsin guy. What about Keegan Murray?
Keegan Murray went where?
Iowa.
Keegan Murray. I'm trying to remember the name because I know they played Purdue a whole bunch of times, so the name sounds familiar.
Yeah,
I'm just trying to think. I got to see his face. Keegan Murray.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just didn't get much wow factor out of that. I know they upset Purdue once, but I don't know. I don't know. I didn't see enough of them to be confident to be I guess they got him going top 10 for what I'm looking at. But
yeah, they got him.
I don't know why this year. I just didn't follow. I didn't follow the NBA I mean, not the NBA. I didn't follow college basketball like I normally do. I'm normally on top of it. We got Dex. Dex says it's going to be a weak draft.
It's going to be like, well, that's what it's looking like. It's
That-
looking like.
You know, could be good. That dude from UCLA, Jules Bernard. I like him.
I thought
player.
the other guy would be better.
Oh, Juzang.
Yeah.
I think he's too much of a scorer, but he's limited athletically. I think Jules Bernard has like a lot of athleticism.
He should have came out last year when his value was higher. He stayed and his value went down.
Well, no, the thing is, I think he said he went back because I think they said like
he withdrew his name, but that was stupid. His value was higher after that tournament run.
Yeah. And this year,
he's kind of small. He doesn't really like jump off the screen athletically.
Oh, Johnny.
Yeah, Juzang.
Yeah, he's not very athletic, but you know who he reminds me of? I'm gonna tell you the player he reminds me. He reminds me like of a faster Kyle Anderson.
Let's see.
Slow mo.
Kyle Anderson is like 6'9".
Kyle Anderson.
I mean, but I'm talking about they're like crafty scores. Like they're skilled. Like they can score. Like they might not impress you with athleticism, but they just smart enough to score.
I'm just saying he what is he like 6'6", 6'5"?
Yeah, he's 6'6". He got him at 6'6".
He's kind of small. That's what I'm saying. Like,
So yeah, one thing I did watch, man, I was watching the G League, the G League camp they had. There's this dude out of what's the college? I think it's Tulsa. They call and big boy. I forgot his name. They saying he the light skin. He light skinned Zion. He the light skinned Zion without the bounce. But I don't know. He a big boy, but he can shoot the shit out the ball though.
Like, hold on. What do y'all think about that dude, that Kenny Lofton guy?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, bro.
No, he's from Louisiana Tech.
Oh yeah, Louisiana Tech. I forgot. But yeah.
He lost a lot of weight though.
I thought he was like the son of Kenny Lofton.
Remember he had a gut when he was playing. He was like fat. He had a gut hanging out his jersey and everything. But I saw him playing in the G League Elite.
Yeah,
and he lost all that weight. And he was hooping.
He was giving people the bigness. Now the thing is, they was joking on Twitter. Now somebody said he hooping for all that cornbread in the bag. I was like,
now here's my sleeper. That this guy might not get drafted, but the team that picks him up, if he goes to the right team, and they actually utilize him, let's say on a 2-way contract, and they use him, and I think this guy's been slept on for the last couple years, is Kai Soto. I think any team that gets their hands on him and they actually use him, I think if they develop him, he could be one of the sleepers of this draft with no problem.
What's his strengths?
He's just a 7'2" lengthy wing that can shoot, score, quick, fast. He's one of those players that bypassed college. He went to the G League Ignite team, but the problem was he was on that team with Kuminga and what's his name from the Rockets. So he was just getting overshadowed. So he had to spend another year. With that G League Ignite team, and he just kind of fell off everybody's radar when most people coming out of high school had him projected being a lottery pick.
Yeah. Shit, I'm looking at a couple people. Forget where is that? I just had it. Yeah. Shit. Oh man, how do you feel about Andrew Nembhard out of Gonzaga?
I like Nembhard. Nembhard is good.
Yeah.
The guard.
Yeah. What about?
Yeah, he transferred from Florida. He's really tough. He's a competitor. He'll be a good pickup for a team.
What about Evan Mobley's little brother?
I haven't seen him play enough. I'm assuming he's okay, but I don't.
I saw him. I was watching. I watched some Pac-12 basketball. He alright. I mean, like he can pass and everything, but he like, in terms of athleticism, he's the polar opposite of Evan. But I think the only thing that he has is that he's a better shooter from the perimeter. But and then my sleeper and this is because he has like raw talent. Bryce McGowan's out of Nebraska.
I didn't see him play much. It's crazy because he's in the Big Ten too. You would think I would know. Well, let me share my screen because I think this website right here does a good job of showing how good these players are. At least these are the scouting profiles. Hold on. Because I got EJ Liddell on my screen right now.
EJ.
So they got EJ Liddell. They saying he's mock on the big 32 and 31 in the mock draft. So I guess they were comparing him. His NBA comparison is Eric Pascal. And they say that his weaknesses are he lacks great explosiveness and length that allows him to play bigger than he is. He's undersized for NBA standards, power forward center combinations, not a particularly quick or sudden player, and it shows most when he looks to create off the bounce. That's true. I actually even saw that when he was playing in the Drew League. Didn't look like he was super explosive player. He almost kind of looked a little out of shape too.
Yeah.
Doesn't get much lift on any of his shots. That is true. But he does have a quick release. So I don't know if he needs much lift. He has a really quick release, and he can shoot it at a pretty good clip.
He has a nice arc on his release too.
They say he's foul prone, jumps at a lot of pump fakes. Says he did improve. He said he definitely improved last year. Shooting and footwork when he isn't wide open from the perimeter is inconsistent. So again, in the NBA, you don't expect to be wide open up much. So you got to be able to score when you got somebody up on you.
Yeah, because I think one of the things that got him in trouble. If you look at look at his tape from the 2021 Big Ten tournament, and look at I think they forgot. Let me do my research. I hope I'm right. I think they played Michigan or Michigan State. I forgot what round it was. Oh, man, that's crazy. So they played they played so what they did, they played Illinois. They ended up playing they played Michigan in the semifinal. They beat Michigan. They beat Michigan. They beat Michigan in the semifinal in the 2021 thing. But what Juwan Howard was doing is that every time he got the ball, like he had when he had somebody all up in his grill, and he turned the ball over 6 times. So I don't think he's not good going. He's not good with somebody just face guarding him like that. I think most of his points and most of his efficiency comes from when the point guard drives and he gets that 15-footer, that 20-footer. Occasionally he can do a spot up three and he can hit that at a decent to good clip. But off the drip, when you force him to create his own shot, that's where the inefficiency comes in and everything. A lot of teams exploit. A lot of teams exposed it last year. He improved it this year, but when they got to the tournament, I forgot who they played in the tournament. They got beat. I think they got beat in the first round.
I think so too. I think he got upset.
There was an upset. They got. I think.
Big Chess. If I had to ask you who your sleeper is, if you had to pick a sleeper, who's your sleeper? Out of the top 100 players that put their names in.
Honestly, I have to say Kennedy Chandler out of Tennessee.
Well, we're gonna click on his profile right here. There he is, right here. They got him as the 28th ranked prospect. Kennedy Chandler. Let's see what they talking about with Kennedy Chandler. They said I like to look at the weaknesses. I always like to start with the weaknesses first. Small for point guard in today's game is 6'1". So yeah, he's definitely small. Despite the solid wingspan of 6'5", that 6'5" wingspan can make up for it. On top of his lack of size, slight frame, making him a bit of a liability on the defensive end. That's never good to start out with in NBA. Free throw shooting is a problem for him as a point guard who loves to get to the basket and create. He only shot 60% from the free throw line in college, which is so that's not good. That's shooting motion is a little slow. I would worry about that. Now, that's something I will worry about. It's a shorter, smaller guard in NBA. you got to be able to get your shot quick. That's one of the reasons why Isaiah Thomas is a tiny guard, was able to score because he had a lightning quick release. They said he has a slow release, which can force him to create more separation than needed to get his shot off. It says he had a slow adjustment to the college game. It could suggest it would take a few years for him to get accustomed to the pro game. So,
I mean,
man,
I wouldn't worry about his offense. I worry about his defense liability.
Well, it's not the liability.
I don't know. I wouldn't worry about it because, I mean, if you read Steph Curry's scouting profile, they were destroying him defensively. They was like, can't defend, X, Y, and Z. That might be why so many teams passed up on him. Like for me, what I like to look at is the intangibles. Like if you are smaller, what's your wingspan like? If you got like for him to be 6'1" with a 6'5" wingspan, that tells me right there. If I can coach you up on defense, you at least got potential on defensive end because you got the wingspan.
So what I noticed about shorter guards that stay in the league long, I noticed that if they play good defense, they gotta be like really good with their hands. Like they gotta be like steel machines. You know what I'm saying? Like Allen Iverson or
Iverson wasn't no steel machine.
Who?
Iverson was trash on defense.
Garbage.
Iverson used to still he played some good defense. There was a year he played good defense. Man, it was just 1 year, but
he led the league in steals, but he was trash.
Yeah. Now, if you look at because I'll show you. I think the game, because listen. I knew it's like they play Arizona earlier in the season, and he was right about the Arizona players because they absolutely emasculated that team. That was when Arizona was high and mighty, undefeated. It was like, oh, we're going to national championship, but no, they played him. And one thing that he has, his speed, to get from point A to point B, it's lightning quick.
Oh, this guy.
Shorter players just have to have.
Yeah, they said his quickness. They said he's lightning quick. They got his quickness here at an 8, size at a 7. They actually got his defense as an 8 as well.
Yeah, I mean, individually, he's a good help defender and everything. He comes behind and he can get a steal. One-on-one defense. I mean, if he goes against the guard, most of the guards that he faced were between 6'1" and 6'4". I mean, he hasn't had to face a 6'6" guard. I think until he went except when they went against Michigan. Because Michigan, both of their guards are 6'6", so except for another point guard is 6'2", but they would switch. He would get switched onto their two guards which are 6'6" and 6'7", and he would get back down. He would get back down, or he would get just ran through. That's where the physicality comes in, and the size difference comes in. But offensively, I've seen him he can get to the bucket, and the slow release, that's more or less creating the shot. I don't know, it's not Lonzo's shot, how Lonzo came into the league, but it's more like a push shot. He thumbs the ball when he's thumbing the ball when he shoots. So.
Damn, I didn't notice. They got Jaden Ivey's comparison as Anthony Edwards or Donovan Mitchell. That's pretty. Yeah. That's some big shoes to fill if they got your comparison already that high.
No, something I know. One of the things they're actually comparing him to Ja.
I don't know if he can beat Ja because Ja's more of a playmaker. Ivey's not a playmaker at all.
What I saw the dude he doesn't have that great a handle. He's not really creating with the ball in his hand. He's more like a straight line kind of driver. Ivy.
Yeah. But the thing is, when he makes up his mind to get somewhere, you ain't stopping him. He's gonna bully his way
a straight line drive. He can do that.
Yeah. He's not real fancy with it, and it's not flashy, but he definitely is efficient with what he does.
Yeah,
man, definitely is efficient.
I think outside of my favorite player when we watch, I was Paolo Banchero.
You're right too. His ball handle is a 7 too.
Yeah,
so you are right about that. Ball handling could be suspect coming into the league.
Yeah,
more like a 6'4" Jalen Brown. Like
he said that 6'4". Oh my.
No, but you know what though? But Jalen Brown at least has a handle though. Jalen Brown has a way
yeah,
better handle than
his handle
Jalen.
got better, but
Yeah.
like, coming into the league, his handle was really suspect.
I want.
Jalen
No,
Brown.
I just want to see Ben Paolo
Brown's
Banchero.
still suspect. They can't go left.
I think Paolo Banchero, man, that man is.
That's what I want to ask you guys.
That man got all-star written all over him. So does Paolo Banchero. I think
he's gonna get. I think he averaged 20. Like he goes to the right team, and they give him all the.
Bro, I'm telling you, Jabari Smith to me. I'm glad he's staying away from Kwame Brown because, bro, he got the potential to be bananas, bro.
Ain't they from the same place? I mean,
no, that's his uncle.
Oh yeah. Oh well, I forgot. The weird thing is, actually, the thing is, I forgot. Yeah, Kwame Brown lived like 25 minutes away from my grandma.
Yeah, that's his uncle. But Jabari Smith basically said him and his family came out and said, "Don't attach us to Kwame. They don't want." I guess I don't know if there's like a family beef or something, but
nah, I think
they don't want their name associated with Kwame Brown.
What?
Because they don't want to part of his YouTube career.
I'm just saying, like they came out in college and said that. Like they came out said that a long time ago. Like they didn't even like that. They didn't even like that the school had that on there.
It might be some.
That's what I'm saying. It sounds like a family issue where they was like, we don't want to be affiliated with that man.
Yeah, I was like, but I was like, no, because I found like, because I didn't know, like, I found out the other day, and then like, because I was watching, I don't know, I was just going scrolling through YouTube. I was like, found out like literally like. Yeah, Kwame Brown, like he stays like 25 minutes away from where my grandma lives. Like where I used to live too. And I'm like, but I think Jabari Smith, I think that man, I think he gonna be a monster too. But for some odd reason, I don't know, watching Paolo Banchero, and I like watching Duke basketball. I think he different. He different now. The one concern, I wonder, like the issue with him, like sweating like 10 pounds every game, or a lot of games that he had the issue with the sweating and the dehydration.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah,
he said, where did the Warriors draft anyway? I want to know what the draft.
I think 27 or 28. That's where they said like they could. That's what one of the players they were looking, because I was looking at the Warriors scouts. One of the players they was looking at was that Nikola Jovic kid.
But I mean, like, look, if you try to get into the scouting game, the one thing you want to do is you want to watch. I'm talking about you want to watch teams like San Antonio and Golden State. You want to watch how they draft because them motherfuckers don't miss. They usually be dead on about all the talent they get.
So are you a scout, right? Or you were?
Yeah, I was an intern scout. I was.
I was like, you just coaching now?
Yeah, I'm just doing the coaching now. I was interning with the Suns, but now I'm just with GCU.
Oh, so what are the requirements to be a scout? Because I might want to do that. Like,
There's really no requirements. It's just about. I mean, obviously, it's to get those gigs. It's about networking. One, so you got to go to a ton of coaching clinics, the NBA clinics and stuff. Network with people, and then basically it's about the number one way to get that position is you probably want to be like a GA, a grad assistant for like a D1 school. So like if you're a grad assistant for, in your area, if you go to Alabama or just any one of these big time D1 schools, when you go to grad school, spend 2-3 years as a grad assistant, and usually that should give you enough of a network to get into the NBA if you want to stick that out.
Yeah, it's like, man, but no, it's just it's just thought, man. But
Golden State got the 28th pick.
Yeah.
I'm gonna see who has the most picks. So New Orleans get that. LA and Los Angeles, they would have been drafting at the 8th spot. They losing out on that. Damn, I bet they mad about that. OKC. You would have thought OKC has more picks in this draft.
I mean, they traded. They had more, but they traded. So.
They got. Hold on, let me see. They got the 30th pick, and they got the 12th pick, and they got the 2nd pick. So never mind. They got 3 picks in the first round. They can clean up.
12 picks.
Houston. You said what?
You said 12 pick in the 30th or so?
So they got 30, 12, and 2 in the first round.
Okay.
That's not bad for a first round.
Pretty good.
And then they got the 34th in the second round, so they got the 4th pick going into the second round. So they can actually bring in a pretty nice haul if they draft right.
Yeah,
they can bring in.
They got something up their sleeve. Preston.
They got. I think what they doing is I think they just playing the odds. They just trying to strike gold.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you draft enough guys, you're gonna strike gold. I don't mind it. It's gonna take a long time.
They draft well historically, especially when they're trying to.
I know Indiana's hoping that Jaden Ivey drops to 6.
Yeah. No, it's like I think what's it called? Like, cause I think they're gonna try to build around Shea Gilgeous-Alexander and Josh Giddey.
That's what I'm saying. They draft well.
Yeah.
They didn't draft Shea Gilgeous-Alexander.
They got
Clippers
him.
did, but
They got him.
But nobody thought Josh Giddey would be this good.
Yeah. I'd be free. Now sometimes I'd be like, man, I'd be thinking that Shea and Ja be related because they look alike kind of, but
they do look. We played it. We played against him. Our club team. Because he went to a school out here called Dream City, and we played them.
Yeah,
we smacked them.
I forgot who's going to be in our. Because I know I'm in Nashville. We got a Drew League thing happening in July, and apparently there's supposed to be. I forget somebody. I think somebody on the Magic's supposed to be pulling up. Franz Wagner supposed to be pulling up to a Drew League thing that's happening in Nashville. So
that's what's up.
Yo, the Grizzlies got a good coach out there, by the way.
Yeah, I like that. What's his name? Taylor something?
Taylor Jenkins.
Yeah, Taylor Jenkins. I like him.
He
underrated coach.
Yeah, he cool. That whole it's weird. Me being a Golden State fan and I live in the state of Tennessee, they'd be like, "Why ain't you a Memphis fan?" And I was like, "Well, I wasn't a Memphis fan when you had Mike Conley." I'm like, "I'm cool with John Morant." It's just I mean, I met the dude a couple years ago. He had a good conversation. Took a picture. I ain't gonna lie. That was his last year in college that I met him, and I think he's grown since then because we was the same height, back then. Now I think he like 6'3". So I was like, but I was like, I think the Memphis culture, that the grind city, it's pretty good.
We're gonna run down one player. Oaktown wants to know how good Walker Kessler is. Let me pull it up for him.
The big man out of Auburn.
Man, I want a 6'4" lefty point guard.
Who is that?
He can shoot. I fucking have no idea because I haven't been paying attention. But those are rare, man. I doubt there's any in the draft.
What you wanna reincarnate Michael Redd? You somehow get another Michael Redd. That's about it.
Sure.
You imagine that though?
Lefties are harder to guard though, because they generally have quick releases. They kind of have an unorthodox style too.
And we're used to guiding our defenders left. So
somebody told me, imagine if Steph Curry was left-handed.
He'd be unstoppable. He'd be unguardable. He'd probably be the most lethal player offensively in NBA history if he's left-handed.
He would have had an 80-point game at least.
Hey, the way basketball evolution as of right now, there's gonna be a left-handed like sharpshooter, like super, like that can shoot the crap out of the ball. Somebody gonna be like that within the next 10 years. But
everybody's
so hold on for Oaktown A. It says Walker Kessler is an elite level shot blocker who should be able to translate that skill well to the next level because of his ability to play physical without fouling and while maintaining space. That's actually a good attribute to have. That sounds like a guy that could be in the league for 15 years.
Yeah.
Shit. He said he's not a great rebounder. He will need to take better care of the ball. He wants to expand his offensive game, but he doesn't. Says he doesn't look ideal mechanically. So yeah, he's gonna have to fine tune some things offensively. But I mean, if he's a big man that can defend like without fouling, he's gonna have a spot on anybody's roster for a long time.
He played like if you watch him, like I think I saw a couple games. No, but he played like when they had him in the game, but he was playing like he was like
and I know they put him through the ringer. I know they battle tested him before he, so
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Oh yeah, the great.
Yeah, he didn't just get that starting spot at Auburn without getting tested.
Bruce Pearl don't play, man.
Yeah, but I'm just saying the type of players he bring in some hard-nosed players.
Man, he's not even as hard as he used to be, man. He can't actually. They won't allow him to be as hard as he used to be.
As long as Bruce Pearl stopped fucking with the violations and shit, he'd be solid.
I mean, that's why he got fired. That's why he left.
He's always trying to finesse some extra shit.
Trying to get some money and everything. But no, I mean, because when he was at Tennessee, I mean, I know like the people I talked to, they miss him at UT Knoxville. But but him and Auburn, I think the weird thing is like I think if he gets the right players, continues to build that culture, I think they're gonna be they can win a national championship.
Hey, we played Tennessee in the I think in the first round of our national tournament.
Club team.
Mm-hmm.
So I got questions like, is your club team? Do you got like legit like D1 hoopers on your team, or is it just
we lost 3 players to D1 schools.
Oh, for real?
So we had a lot of freshmen on our team because we're already a university team. So a lot of these guys are already freshmen in college. So most of my team was freshmen. I think we had a couple of juniors, but we had more freshmen than I've ever had. So our starting point guard, he possibly is going to get picked up by GCU as a sophomore. One of our other scoring guards, he just went to Columbia University. And then we just lost our 2 brothers. We got Elian and Shiloh. They were 2 brothers. We just lost them to Seattle University. So so we could potentially lose, but we could potentially lose 4 players to D1 programs. So I mean, we was nice with it. It was nice.
Yeah,
we was real nice.
I was like, man, I was like, honestly, Lamar, I gotta see you in an open run one day. I gotta see if you like be hooping like you be saying you do.
Hey, you can always come out here, man. I'll be trying to get some of y'all to come out there. Like I be trying to set up 1v1s with people. I got access. I mean, I run the whole gym. We can go over to GCU at any time. I got the whole 10-court facility. I'm talking about brand new. They got a little restaurant in there and everything. All you gotta do is just get down there.
Yeah, but the thing is, I don't got $2,000 to fly to Arizona.
I know. Flying right now is expensive. Yeah, I know. We'll figure. I mean, if anybody's in Phoenix, man, just let me know. It's a couple of guys. I was trying to get him to go to the gym with me, but he won't. I forgot. Is it King KO? It's somebody in the chat that's from Chandler. I keep saying we can go link up at the gym. Actually, me and my girl talking about going to the gym tonight. I got to put up about 500 shots.
Yeah.
See, I'm left-handed too, so I got a lot of respect for lefties.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
No, so I was trying to, I'm honestly, I might, because I ain't get a shots, man. I don't know. When I was like during the school year.
Look at T Streets. T Streets, man, there is a potential. My dog is barking.
Hey, I forgot. When T Streets almost pulled up on Dope Mike, man.
T Streets is a football player transitioning into a basketball player, so I hope he's not a hack. He could be a hack, but I saw some clips of him. He looked like he got a little game on him, though.
Listen, bro. I ain't gonna lie, bro. The match that we trying to set up right now, we trying to set up me versus Goat Mike 1v1. That's like the biggest match we trying to set up.
I don't know, man. Big Chess been upset some people, man. I would destroy Goat Mike, though, man. I wouldn't let him score.
I was like, obviously, hey man, it'd be because I ain't gonna lie. Did you see the last time he faced Hitman?
If you look at how Goat Mike scores, if you watch his games, you know he really ain't got an offensive bag because, and this is why I like playing one possession at a time, because whenever Hitman would shoot, he would rely on a long rebound bouncing on the other side of the court. He would sprint and grab it. And Hitman would be tired because he smokes cigarettes. Hitman can't go run over there to go guard him. So he just would shoot a wide open jumper. But he couldn't score just like mano y mano. He can't score.
No. See, the thing is, he was hitting that. No, but Hitman. But the thing is, the last game, bro, Hitman was up 20.
Hitman was cooking his ass. Yeah, the Hitman, them cigarettes kicked in. He got tired. That's because Mike played these old weird fucking YMCA alley rules or some dumb shit. I don't know what the hell he be playing.
Now he played a 1-on-1 like you playing like 3-on-3, make you take it.
I'm playing one possession. As soon as you miss the shot, the play is dead. It's my ball. We reset at the top. Ain't no chasing down my missed shot, chucking it up because I can't get over it.
The thing is, like, because I was like when Hitman got tired and everything, Mike not like, so I don't know, the last 3 minutes of the video, man, I don't know why I felt like I was at an NBA game because this man he got a slow crossover. He hit Hitman with the crossover and he sidestepped to the left. He hit a mid-range jumper.
Oh, Cuba said, "Why did he time me out?" I don't know why he timed me out, Cuba. I don't know why he timed me out. Oh, I know why he timed me out because
you said something. You touched the subject.
I said something about why y'all tricking him into believing that his channel getting shadow banned or something.
Yeah, no. So the funniest thing is Mike hit a 30-footer in Hitman's face, man. That was fun, and he started celebrating, and I'm like, man, we trying to plan that, man. So I'm trying to get my best. I'm trying to get in my best shape to where that happens because I know I'm gonna get hacked. I might get he might try to body slam me, so I'm preparing for war. But I'll be in the I was in the fitness center at school at the college I go to, man. And every day after class, man, the hoop sessions, man, I don't get it, man. It's like when I play against like the pro, I hate playing against the freshmen because they literally call foul and then they start arguing for like 10-15 minutes and everything, and like with the score be like 2-2. And the games be lasting, like one pickup game be lasting like 35-40 minutes. And half the time be arguing.
We be moving, bro. We get to running, bro. We don't play, man. We going games to a lot of times just so we can get the games moving. We gonna knock it down to games to 11. Yeah. 1s and 2s. Keep the game moving.
So like we have a series whoever gets there first, like for the first 10 people, the first game is to 15. And then 1s and 2s, and then after that is every game's to 12 until the last game's 15. And we be like, I basically, the thing is like I play about I go there every day. The most games I can play, if I don't have like classes or nothing, I can get about 10-15 games in, depending on winning or losing and everything.
That's a lot of games.
Yeah.
Damn. That's pretty good day. That's a good day of runs. Hold on. James Bristow says Kyrie going to LA makes too much sense. A humble star like Kyrie. You says he's humble? I don't know if he's humble. He says a humble star like Kyrie will fall in line and help LBJ get his 5th ring. Or as far as basketball, yeah, he does fall in line. Also, he wants to pass LBJ the ball. He breaks up. I don't know if Kyrie's the type to want to go to LA to help LeBron's career.
Yeah.
Secondly, I feel like Kyrie leaked these reports because he wants to put Brooklyn in a situation where they give him a long-term contract and not a short-term deal. So I think it's all fake news anyway, but I think he's trying to finesse. I think he leaked this information out trying to finesse a little bit. Yeah. I don't believe it. I'm not going for it.
Yeah. All right, back to that, man. So Lamar, I figured out my role like 5-on-5 or just pick up and everything. So I'm like, I don't got the best handle and everything, but I realized, man, like me and my buddy, man, like our dribble, our DHOs, man, they on point, bro. I get that thing like off a dribble handoff, and I get square to the turn around, get square to the basket. Oh, I'm popping that, I'm letting that thing fly. Like I can, I'll be scoring off of that. I'll be scoring off of cuts to the basket, And then like the only time I can shoot off the dribbles, like I come down off a fast break and I might pop up a three and everything, but usually I'm my big ass is down, getting rebounds and everything, getting stick backs. So, but like everybody I know, that we be playing. The only thing I don't know.
Uncle P said she wants the link. I dropped the link real quick, Uncle P.
Yeah,
we'll be shutting it down here in a minute.
What's up, Uncle P? Salute to one of the OG.
We're gonna shut it down as soon as Uncle P's up on here and done. We're gonna shut it down soon.
How long we been streaming?
Because I'm almost 4 hours. Because I'm gonna try to get to the gym. We got a 24-hour joint. I gotta get some shots up, man. I gotta get some shots up.
Who gonna be your rebounder?
My girl.
Oh, that's what's up.
Oh yeah, she come rebound, get me my shots up. Today I'm gonna do something different. I'm gonna do a down and back every time I miss. So hopefully I'm not missing today.
I had to turn my other stream off. Hello everybody, how y'all doing?
Hey, how you doing?
Good. I'm sitting here doing invoices, trying to get paid.
Oh, bro, that's all I was doing today, man. My online business been going slow. I don't know what's going on with the economy, but man, I'm talking about the orders, the incoming orders just went. I've been trying to get it to turn back up. So
the economy just start with the gas prices. But anyway, that's not what I came in here for. Just real quick, don't you find it interesting that Sharanian, however you pronounce his name, is the one that put that the news out there? I mean, I believe you because I had said as soon as I heard it that I thought that because first thing you do is when you hear these leaks, who does it benefit? And at this point, it benefits Kyrie Irving and his camp because Kyrie really don't want to leave Brooklyn. He really wants to stay, and I believe he is trying to put pressure on the Brooklyn Nets. However, don't you think it's fascinating and interesting that Sham is the one that broke it? Because wasn't early last season, Kyrie was talking bad about Sham and didn't want him in their locker room because he said he was the ops because his agent is Clutch Sports and he thought that he was there spying for LeBron and AD. Remember that?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I was thinking about the angle from could it have been LeBron trying to influence a move like that? I know LeBron would love to play with Kyrie again, but I think the only way a trade happens, let's say a trade does happen, the Lakers obviously want to trade Russ. You don't have to convince them to trade Russ. You would have to. You now have to find a way to convince Brooklyn that trading for Russ would be the best idea for them. That's the tricky part. How do you convince Brooklyn of that? And so that's why I feel like
because what had happened is KD would get mad because y'all didn't do what I want you to do with Kyrie. So Kyrie leave, then KD say, you know what? I don't want to be here. I want out. And then there you go. Make that trade. You give me KD in a few pieces, and I'll take your Russ in a few pieces. You know what I mean? I said that backwards, but you know what I mean. It'd be just a swap kind of a thing like that. It's only a hopeful suggestion. But also, let me give you a little bit else background and a little other memory too. Wasn't it not that long ago that the Lakers GM and somebody else from the Lakers office was just there having a meeting with Brooklyn Nets, and it was never really told what that was about? Speculation said that it was about doing reconnaissance work on a coach that used to coach there that they was thinking about hiring. Could it be something else? And then remember too, not too long ago, LeBron and Kevin Love was getting some drills in, some runs, shoot ups, whatever you want to call it, at a place called Summit that's in New York area 2 days ago. So it's something going on. We just don't know what yet conclusively.
I don't know. I don't think they're gonna put Russ and KD back together.
I didn't say that. I said swap. Russ has an expiring contract. If KD puts up a bitch and fit and say that he don't want to be there no more, then that'll put Brooklyn in a need of moving Kevin. And let's just say they say, okay, give me Russ and a few pieces, a couple of those picks, because remember Rob Pelinka said he was saving those picks for a disgruntled superstar. Remember? So if he does that, and then Russ goes over there with a few pieces and some picks. KD comes over to Lakers. I'm just throwing out some hypotheticals and could be impossible, putting all the tea leaves together and remembering everything that has transpired in time span, of how it happened. So I'm just, keep that in mind. There's something going on. We just don't know conclusively what.
So you're saying KD to the Lakers somehow?
Yep. Because remember not too long ago, KD was supposed to be going to the Lakers, but Stephen A. put it out there so that KD was headed to the Lakers, and that's when KD and Stephen A. Smith first had their first beef together because you told the plan, and he wasn't supposed to put that out there. And he got mad, hauled ass out there to the Hamptons, and then all the Warriors hauled butt over there to go talk to him and convince him to sign with them. But he was supposed to go to the Lakers before Bron got there. Bron was going to come when he got there. The two of them was hanging together. And LeBron almost told us about a superstar that he was going to team up with. He said, "No, I'm not going to put that out there. I'm going to back off and leave that alone."
Yeah, everybody was trying to recruit KD. But,
I hear you. I'm just putting out some smoke and some tea leaves, and y'all put that together and see what you think.
Hey, well, only way we know for certain, so we just got to wait and find out. Because I just know the Lakers got some. They're gonna have to do some intensive surgery on that roster if they really want to compete next year. Because you got to think next year it's gonna be a lot of teams getting better. The Denver's gonna be better. Clippers are gonna be better. Memphis is gonna be better. Dallas is already better. So all the teams that was already ahead of them is getting better. The Lakers haven't done anything to get better yet. So when we talk about that Lakers team, they gonna have to do some good finessing. I don't know, whatever favors that people owe Pelinka or the Lakers, they better cash in on them favors this year, because it's gonna get ugly again if they don't do something to overhaul that roster.
Maybe that was the sneaky plot. And then, like they say, what's that Wood fella that they made Dallas got? I can't think of his name. Christian Woods, I think. They said the Lakers didn't even get in on that, make no phone calls or anything. So it's like, why wouldn't you try? So what are you up to with these picks that you got, except to say maybe you going for another big fish? Imagine what that team would look like if you got AD, LeBron, Kyrie, and KD on that team. Imagine what that crap would look like. Goodness gracious.
Yeah, I thought they should have pulled the deal with Christian Wood and John Wall.
Make you wonder why didn't they?
I don't know. I don't know why. I think they keep saying they didn't want to part with that draft pick, and it's just like, you guys don't draft well anyway. Like, why do you want to hold on to your draft picks anyway? You don't really use them. You don't draft well with them. You draft guys and stash them away in the G League and then trade them away later, or cut them.
Yep.
So it's not like
and then Brooklyn could take Russ's contract, which is expiring, and that's what, $47 million coming off the book. Look at what they could try to go after that free agent superstar that may be available, that they would have the money to, if not maybe two people that they would have money to pay to rebuild. Okay, so if KD pull this crap that I don't want to be here, that team is going to be trash. You know what I mean? If they play game with him, if they play ball with him and go ahead and trade him, they already know that. And then, okay, so I don't want to be here, I don't want to play. And then what? You don't show up? I mean, I think he'd have to play some real true hardball for it to work. But if they want to pull it, they could do it.
I don't think the Lakers have enough to get Miles Turner or Malcolm Brogdon. Nobody. The problem, JT81, is that nobody's falling for the Russell Westbrook. That's like the banana in the tailpipe. Like, everybody in the world knows you're trying to get rid of them. So it's just like, if we're gonna take your garbage, you're gonna have to send Taylor Horton Tucker. You're gonna have to send both the draft picks you got. Like, teams are not gonna let you finesse no more. Right? And so that's the problem that they're facing. Everybody in the world knows y'all trying to get rid of Russ, so they're gonna lowball you.
Russ gotta go to a team that's trying to tank.
Nobody's knocking on their door saying we interested in Russ. The Lakers are calling people up saying you're interested in taking them. And so the only way they get Brogdon and Turner is they're going to have to give up the farm.
Right.
The farm.
Yeah, I was just putting out some things, some crazy scenarios that's going on, some crazy pop-ups and situations and stuff. Not that I, really 100% believe that that's going down, but it's like, why is it happening?
Yeah, that's what I said too. When I first saw the report this morning, I said this just don't sound right for this to be coming out right now. It sounds like somebody leaked this out to a media outlet, and the media outlets are just running with it because it was probably leaked from somebody credible, like somebody's camp, like a Kyrie's camp or LeBron's camp. It's the only way this story gets pushed that aggressively.
I mean, right? And then you got all that talk that Kyrie was doing, walking back all that stuff that he said about LeBron and putting out there in that podcast. I mean, he even shaved and got cleaned up and combed his hair. I was like, damn, look at there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he has been kind of walking back some of them things. I've been listening to some of these little I don't want to say podcasts. I know he's been gaming with people, just kind of chatting it up. And I'm listening. Like, he's really kind of trying to.
No, he actually was on somebody's podcast, sitting on a couch, just talking one-on-one with this person, just talking. Some of the stuff that he walked back and said about LeBron. I think I sent that clip to you on one of them Instagram deals that I sent you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was literally a podcast that he was actually interviewing and talking. Like I said, he had his hair combed and shaved up, and I was like, well, damn, yeah, you look decent now, fella.
He says, why did they not just send – they can't send Russ home because they're competing to win. They're trying to win a championship. Houston wasn't trying to win nothing. They were trying to tank. They're just trying to develop young players. Lakers don't have a season to waste just sending people home, not playing. So they can't just send Russ home.
Where is home for Russ? I thought it was L.A.
No, I'm just saying – I think he's just saying not playing. Like they didn't play John Wall last
Oh,
year.
okay. Okay, yeah, I'm not looking at the chat. I can't with the phone that I'm on and this, that, and the other. Plus, I'm on my speaker.
It's crazy. But the Lakers got a lot of work to do. I'm curious to see what they do, though. I can't wait to see. This next year is going to be very interesting. He says Russ is a bad mix. That's what Nick T says. I don't know, Nick T. I like Russ. I still believe it could work with the right coach in the right system. If I'm the
Who
Lakers,
is that? Because don't sound like he listened to too many people.
Nick T. No, Nick T. be on a lot of these channels. I think if I'm the Laker organization, I would sit the big three down, AD, Russ, and LeBron, and I'll be like, look, we can't trade y'all. We're not planning to trade y'all. All you guys have been MVP candidates. You guys need to work it out. And then I would sit down with all three of them, and I would be like, look, this is the role players we have available on the market that we can bring in. What guys do we need to bring in and make sure? Do we need the youth? But I'm not gonna, because they can't afford to give up the only 2 draft picks they got. Right? Trading Russ is not realistic because nobody wants him. So it's just they in a hard place. I would tell them to figure it out. Fired Vogel, so can't blame Vogel no more. Go figure it out. Russ shrinks the floor. Yeah, that's okay. Figure it out. Figure it out. That's the only thing they can do right now. Because if you trade Russ, it's only going to make you worse. You're not going to get better players for Russ. All right, One Cool P. I'm about to go ahead and shut it down. I appreciate you pulling up.
All right, cool beans.
Now that the season is over, we will definitely be getting back on the other channel now. I've been sorting through it. I've been sorting through all the information you sent me about the R. Kelly situation. So I'm gonna reach out to you pretty soon about that. I'm gonna do a show on it. Probably Friday, Thursday night or Friday night. Depends on when I get some more information back. Huh?
Yeah. Have you read any of those girls' testimonies?
Yeah, I've been sorting through it. My thing now is like the order on how I want to do the episode. Let's kind of like putting together kind of like a script, a timeline, adding in other information from other sources to kind of connect certain dots here and there. Stuff that wasn't even in trial. It's like testimony from like sometimes when people were jumping in interviews on different platforms. So I'm trying to put together a full story along with the transcript. And that's what I'm working on now. It's just taking a lot longer than I thought.
Yeah, that's a lot of pages.
It's all right though. I'm gonna get it done. Because it's definitely going. I want to make it a really, really good story. I might break it up into segments, like a part 1 through like part 5. Because I don't know if I've done in one shot on one live. I'm gonna have to break it up in segments.
That's gonna be interesting because the people that read them before, the lady I got those from,
Yeah.
I mean, they took day by day and read transcripts. You know, and they had different people playing different parts, you know, whoever's on the witness stand, the prosecutor, the DA, the judge, the bailiff, you know, all that. They had somebody reading everybody's, you know, different part and just kind of acted it out or read it out, I guess I should say. And it took them, I mean, some of them, they was in court some days, it was 7-8 hours. That's a lot. It's a lot of pages you got there, bro. I'm like, damn.
Hey, yo, I stream myself hooping, ayo. Hey yo, y'all gotta pay for that footage, yo. Y'all gotta hit the Cash App. If y'all want me to do IRL footage or footage of me doing my shooting workout, I can't give away my secrets for free, man. I don't have I don't just go in the gym and just shoot jumpers. I have a full-fledged workout that I do. I can't give y'all my secrets for free, man. Well, that's valuable information. All right, One Cool P. Let me go ahead and shut this down. It was a good show today. I appreciate you pulling up. I'm gonna be in touch with you soon. Make sure y'all also sub to the other channel. Whatever happened to the News TV. We're gonna be going live on that channel this week. I know I've been kind of slacking on putting the content out over there. I'm just having trouble getting monetized over there. I've applied for monetization for some reason. So I don't have any copyright material over there. So I don't know why they keep rejecting it, but I'm gonna have to go back and look through the content, see what they're talking about, and reapply in 30 days. We'll just have to go from there. He said I play like Mark Jackson. Nah, I'm not a facilitator, rock and rolling. I'm not a point guard either. I'm a shooting guard. So nah, I'm definitely not like Mark Jackson. And I don't back people down. I'm gonna face you up. So I don't know who you want to call it, how you want to describe it, but it's effective. Hey, but it's FYF Sports, y'all, man. It's been a good episode. Make sure y'all tune in to Whatever Happened to the News TV. When I run the credits, I'm gonna put the link to that channel. I'll put the link to that channel in the down here in the chat. Make sure y'all can click on it. We'll be back here on FYF. We'll be back live on this channel. I would say I can't do it Wednesday night, but I'll probably just do another live on this channel tomorrow night. I got a good topic for you guys, so we definitely gonna be checking that out as well. But hey, it's FYF Sports, man. It's been another good podcast episode. We're gonna be back. Like I said, you guys watch that Deshaun Watson video as well. There's some gems in that one too. There's a lot of gems in that. So make sure y'all tune in. Check that video out. I'm gonna be dropping some more content on the NBA draft coming up pretty soon. That's gonna be epic. And then we got to transition into the NFL. So I'm got an NFL show coming this Sunday. But it's FYF Sports, man. We're gonna be back with more sports and news. Until then, it's FYF Sports, man, and we out. Support for the show, FYF Sports, is brought to you by Manscaped, who's the best in men's below-the-waist grooming. Manscaped offers precision engineered tools for your family jewels. Manscaped is trusted by over 2 million men worldwide. Join the movement for all of your below-the-waist grooming needs. Get 20% off and free shipping with coupon code FYFCREW at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com. Use the code FYFCREW. Your balls will thank you.
money, right? Watch this. We gon' bring that pressure.
Just a little FYI, FYF, 20K sub 6 months, what's next? They been hating at first, now they calling us the best. Hit up YouTube, tell them cut the check. Just a FYI, FYF, 20K sub 6 months, what's next? Woo, fuck your feelings, we all know who the real is. I be getting to it, ain't wasting no time. Walking straight in, we ain't waiting in line. Fuck your feelings, you don't care about mine. You a YouTube gangster, don't be yelling out slime. Or you talking LB, talking Ticket TV. Ain't nobody watching them, all the viewers be sleep. 5 years in, all your subs is your friends. Ticket TV, watch your cars again. Just a little FYI, FYF, 20K sub 6 months, what's next? They been hating at first, now they calling us the best. Hit up YouTube, tell them cut the check. Just a FYI, FYF, 20K sub 6 months, what's next? Woo, fuck your feelings, we all know who the really all know. Shop don't close, working 24, trying to make the channel grow. Look at them, pointing fingers, hating on the low. You can't compete with our podcast show. Couldn't make it in the league, so we got on TV. Crying by LeBron like a little baby. You must be crazy, trying to ever play me. Or you super tough until it's time to say cheese. Just a little FYI, FYF, 20K sub 6 months, what's next? They been hating at first, now they calling us the best. Hit up YouTube, tell them cut the check. Just a FYI, FYF, 20K sub 6 months, what's next? Woo!